Hello and welcome back to the Game Bet Match podcast. I'm your host, Manny Friedman, along with my co-host
Brad Sloan.
and a special guest who we had on our last pod, but we will be collaborating with him in the right now actually. Smooth Man Sports. Well, welcome back to the show.
Thank you guys so much for having me back. Had a lot of fun the first time around and excited for all the content we got cooking up moving forward here.
Yes, exciting times. Asian swing kicking into full gear here. We haven't done a pod since the U.S. Open, so I think we do have to recap since we have seen a lot since we uh, broadcasted last. So I think a fun way to recap is talk about matches that we didn't see but wish we did, and we're gonna kind of add a gambling twist to it and talk about like hypothetical lines. Um, so the first match, I guess, I kind of want to discuss is a match that we all wanted to see but didn't get to see. It was Alcaraz versus Shelton. It was supposed to be a quarterfinal, but unfortunately Shelton had to pull out with injury. I think we were all bummed out. So like, what was based on like their form at the U.S. Open, um, based on like what we saw, what would you set the line if they played a best of five match at the U.S. Open right now? I guess let's start with Brad.
Yeah, I think pretty. I mean, honestly, I think pretty wide. Like, and that's not a bash on Shelton. That's more of just like Alcaraz during the U.S. Open was like that was the Alcaraz we've been looking for a year now. I mean, he was dominant. Like he lost what one set to Sinner. I
Yeah.
mean, and he was, yeah. I mean, he was that was like that was the like fully serious for like full matches pretty much all the time. Alcaraz was like, maybe some dips still, but very minimal versus what we had seen, all year. We were losing sets to Zoomer and almost losing sets to Luca Nardi and
Yeah.
this was a different Alcaraz. So yeah, I mean, I would think maybe like 5 games, maybe 5 to 6 games, 4-1, something like that. Like I think that, and that's a credit to Shelton. Like, because I mean, look, that's what Alcaraz beat Sinner by in the final, right? Like, I think it was 6 games. It might have been seven. I
Yeah.
think it was seven, maybe. So, like, that's a credit to Shelton actually, but Alcaraz was just otherworldly.
But that's based on what you saw in the tournament. But like, what were you thinking? I guess when Shelton was playing Manarino or before he played Manarino, what did you think that line would be at that time?
Maybe a little tighter, maybe like a game or two tighter. But again, like, I mean, Alcaraz is still Alcaraz, right? Like, he still is above. Like, Shelton's made a lot of progress. He might be in the top five now, borderline top five, but Alcaraz is still Alcaraz. That's my take.
Do you agree, Smooth?
I, I think with what we saw in the final, it's hard to like I don't know if there's any line that's too wide for Alcaraz. He played so well the whole tournament. Um, if I wanted to play the devil's advocate, this was the matchup I wanted to see all hardcourt swing. Literally, I mean, it had been creeping up from Canada through Cincinnati with Shelton's form. He was 18-4 since Wimbledon started, I think, something like that. Um, he pushed Carlos in a way that surprised me on clay at the U.S. Open at Roland Garros. He closed at plus 960 there, which feels
Wow.
crazy in
Yeah.
retrospect. I kind of think he would have closed here around plus 250, plus 300, which feels kind of feels really short to me, honestly. But it's hard to argue with his form. I think I'm not sure there's any player on tour who can take the racket out of Carlos's hands, including Ben Shelton. But Ben was definitely playing in a way that maybe could have pushed Carlos. He took a set off of him at Carlos's best place. I would have loved to see how a healthy Ben would have panned out here. But
To be fair,
you know,
Dahmer Zoomer also took a set off of Alcaraz at that same place. Alcaraz was kind of, Alcaraz. I mean, I think it's amazing how well Alcaraz. It just that was like the serious Alcaraz we've been looking, like the serious Alcaraz for 22 sets that we've been looking for.
Yeah.
it was crazy. Go ahead, go ahead,
I'm in
Manny.
I'm in two places here. Like I think, if we take like if I go back to the third round of the US Open, would I saw up to that point, right? I would say Shelton would be plus 250, 300, and like I was still kind of expecting Carlos dips here and there. Um, it didn't happen throughout the whole tournament. So like now that I've seen that whole tournament, if I take Shelton's best level and put it with Alcaraz's best level, I probably put him at like a 6.5, 7 game favorite. Like I'm probably even more pro Alcaraz and based on what I saw. I honestly think that what we saw from Alcaraz at this tournament might be the highest peak out of anyone in the history of the game, the highest elo in terms of just pure all around tennis with the athleticism, with the serve being so good. Like I agree with what John said. I think he posted it. If Alcaraz keeps that level of serving up, I think he could seriously consider challenge Djokovic's record. Like I don't think it's an overreaction necessarily if he stays healthy. Like I know there's a long way to go, but the serving was the missing piece, right? And the focus and those dips in and out, like of like between sets or just a patch of errors. If he cuts that out and improves his serving, I don't know what anyone can do. To be
I
honest,
I I 100% agree with you. His serving has long been considered. If he had a weakness, it would be his first serve isn't quite commanding enough, and his second serve can get a little predictable at times.
Mhm.
And he put all of that to bed pretty decisively. I don't think anyone has ever won the U.S. Open without dropping a set. I think Djokovic did it once and lost, or Federer did it
I
once
think
and lost in the
Federer did it
final,
once.
and lost in the final
Yeah, he
to
lost in the final. It was
Djokovic.
2015. He didn't drop a set up to the final and then lost to Djokovic in the
To
final.
Djokovic. Okay, I knew they were involved, but I mean, we talk about sinners serve all the time, and people talk about it as like a huge weapon. But Carlos is the one hitting more aces. Carlos is the one winning a higher percentage of his first serve points right now. Carlos is the one it's not dropping serve. He's hitting a higher velocity. There's no reason to think he can't run with this. How do you guys think he's going to do with the Australian?
I think
The,
he's
the other piece I wanted to mention about Alcaraz too that I think is always worth mentioning is that like he's so good at not getting aced and returning that I think it makes it like it makes it really hard for somebody to have a path to winning a set or making a match competitive by just like, quote unquote serve botting, right? So like I think that's worth mentioning too, is he like if he's making balls and if he's playing disciplined tennis and good, smart, tactical tennis, I don't know how you beat him. Because like he's so athletic, he's really hard to ace, he's got plenty of power, he's serving decent. Like I don't know what you do.
Yeah, there's no
Um
and it's crazy that he's so hard to ace when he's only like 5'11", 6 foot. Like he's not the tallest guy.
It's quick.
Well, he's implemented a lot of the Nadal, a lot of the Nadal part of that game into
He
his
doesn't
game.
stand so far back though. Yeah, I don't feel like it's the same kind of
It's
returning.
not Nadal-esque, but he stands, I don't know, he stands further back than like he's probably somewhere, he's honestly, you're probably right, man. He's probably somewhere in between for today's tour. Because he's not up on the baseline like Djokovic is, but he's somewhere in between.
I've cashed almost every betting opponent under on aces against Alcaraz. Like it almost always cashed. I
Well, I
think
think markets in general do a poor job of I've noticed the ace market tends to be like those props tend to be probably a little more. Now, I don't know what the limits are, what the liquidity is there, but and how many books offer them. But those ace props when they're offered, like
hmm,
they seem to be a little softer. I
yeah.
agree with you, Manny. They do tend to, I think, underrate the returner's ability to prevent aces.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was such a shame that Shelton got hurt. I mean, I got to put that out there. I mean, it was they were definitely on a collision course, and if he was healthy, he was going to beat Manarino. I mean, despite Manarino playing a phenomenal match. I mean, he that was I thought one of the matches of the tournament up to that point when Shelton got hurt. So kudos to him. I mean, for Manarino for making that competitive. Um, but Yeah.
I've got to say, man, just overall, like it's really disappointing how like the US like this, and it's always kind of the case at the US Open. But man, you and I talked about it quite a bit. Like the first round, like there's like double digits number of guys who are just there for the paycheck,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
it kind of stinks. And then like by the time you get to the fourth quarters, like half the guys are gassed out.
I
It
know.
felt like this year, like the second round was really good and the third round was good. And then after that, it was honestly pretty like not great. Like what I mean, what matches were like really great this year at the US Open after like the like I loved the second and third round, but after that it was really like
It was
ugh.
poor. It was a poor tournament. There's no
What
doubt.
do you think about that, Smooth? Did you kind of feel that way? Like it was kind of overall a little bit of like a duddy tournament, if you will, after like the I thought the best rounds were the second and third round.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm trying to figure out if the macro view of the tournament, where it was so obvious from the beginning that it was going to be Carlos and Djokovic, and then Shelton got injured and the air came out. Sorry, it was going to be Shelton. It was going to be Sinner and Alcaraz. It was clear that Djokovic wasn't really himself. Um, I don't know if that inevitability took the air out of the sails out of the other matches, but I don't know. It's a tough time of year. The tennis season is long, and this is typically when you start to see fitness issues flare up, motivation issues flare up, burnout flare up. So, um, for me, like the inevitability of Carlos and Sinner was, I don't know, it just kind of lessened the overall magnitude of some of the other matches. Like,
Do we think that lessens the overall like do we think that lessens the overall like slams in general? Because it feels inevitable at any slam now, at any best of five that those two are in. Like I don't know if it was any less inevitable at Wimbledon
Does
or
it
the
really matter
French,
even
really.
does it matter best of five? I mean, they were they were in the final in Cincinnati and Rome as well.
I mean,
Like,
yeah, I think best of three, there's more of a chance of them getting upset. I mean, we'll see if this is the new Carlos, then probably less. But Carlos, I think best of three because if he's specifically Carlos, if he's like dumping sets, then yeah, it's always a threat. Like
yeah.
is what I would say.
Hey, Smooth, when I posted that poll with where like is the gap between the top two the highest in this era compared to like, the Djokovic and Federers and Nadals of the world, compared to the rest of the pack. Like, do you think this is the highest gap or the biggest gap it's been between two guys and the rest of the field ever?
Ever's hard to comment on. Ever's hard to comment on. In recent history, even going back to Federer and Nadal, uh, I think so. I think so. I think the gap both feels significantly larger, and it just feels so hopeless below them too.
Yeah.
There's not like someone. I mean, I guess Fonseca, maybe Shelton for his injury. I mean, Shelton still. I hope he's not seriously injured. But in the context of the U.S. Open, um,
Yeah,
I feel
he's
like
so
there's just
far
kind
away.
of a lot of deflation in the 3 through 10 range right now.
Yeah.
I
I
don't have
think it's
anything
just
to any of
Shelton.
them.
Like I think like
Yeah,
Fonseca's got a long. I mean, he's young, but he's got a long way to go. And we've seen like,
yeah.
I think it's kind of a shame. Like the tennis market gets really hyped on these guys, and we've seen a few like I mean, look what's happened to like Jerry Shang. Where like last year Jerry Shang was getting hype, and then like now he's not even going to be like. And obviously it's injuries, and in some cases injuries, but like I feel like it's a lot to ask these guys. Like to make the top 10 is hard. And there's, it's like any sport. You have a lot of prospects who don't prospect out. That's why they're prospects.
Right.
And I think in the tennis community right now, we're so desperate for a prospect to challenge Alcaraz and Sinner that like we just like anytime we see any kind of flash, we get really hyped up.
Yeah, it's they're just so far away. I mean, even Shelton with all this improvement, like he's still so far away. He's not even
Exactly.
close.
He's not even close, and I think that just speaks to Brad's point. I think like we're desperate. The community is desperate to see someone push these guys. As fun as they are to watch over and over again, I would watch those matches over and over again.
Yeah.
The mediocrity in the I think the mediocrity in what used to be like the T50 is like inched all the way down to like 3 through 10 at the moment. So I'm not really seeing a huge differentiation
I know.
between like uh, between the I don't know Taylor Fritzes and the Holger Runas and the Francisco, like I don't know, they could all beat each other in any given day. It feels like, but not
Yeah,
this
man.
season.
I used to bring this up. Like, one of the cool things about like the mid 2000s era was like the second tier was really strong. Like
Yeah,
the Burdiches, the Songas, the Ferrers, like, and obviously Murray was even a different level than that, and Wawa was a different level than that. But you had like a really strong like 3 through 10 tier that was like that was strong. And your point, Smooth, like I'm not really sure that exists anymore. I mean, we've got, if you look at I mean, who's third in the world right now? Is it still Zverev?
It's still
yes,
Zverev, yep.
Because I mean, honestly, if you're who's the real third best player in the world right now, it's pretty clearly Djokovic.
Yes.
At 38 and a shell of himself and barely healthy, he still is
Clearly.
clearly the number three, and he's the one guy who can like kind of. I guess him and Shelton are the two guys who can like kind of challenge those top two.
Yeah,
And Shelton, we haven't really seen him.
Djokovic more with tactics and Shelton with just pure athleticism and serve.
Right, different ways. But like, I mean, like we saw Shelton challenge Alcaraz, or not Shelton, Djokovic challenge Alcaraz kind of for the second set. Like the second set got to a tie break and he
Yeah.
was up 3
But I
loves.
actually
So
thought that Alcaraz was pretty tight in that match. I thought that that was actually his worst match of the tournament, ironically, in
I
his
would agree.
great sets.
But at least like that was kind of a challenge for Alcaraz. Like, whereas like I mean, like Rinder Neck, the score was close, but it felt inevitable. It never really
Yeah.
felt like there was any question. Um, Yeah, like and Opelka, same thing. It was a 6 game difference, but I don't
I
think he ever.
I think this is the furthest it's been in terms of like overall tour, like like all the surfaces. This is the biggest gap. I think the only comparable is Nadal and Clay, and I
Well, I
think
think Nadal on clay is actually above. I mean, Nadal
it's
on clay.
above.
I pulled the stats for you, man. I think it was like a 4 year stretch where
Yeah,
against everyone except Djokovic, he went like 108-2 or something. Like
it's
he lost to
absurd.
like Ceballos and somebody
But
else.
that's
Like
basic. But that's basically Sinner's record versus everyone except Alcaraz.
right, right.
So this gap is just insane. It's
And I think
absolutely
you see it
absurd.
reflected. Like when you see like the outright odds now on the slams, it's comical
They
because
take
it's like
90% of the market share. It's insane.
90% of the market share is two
And they're
guys.
justified in doing that.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
100%. Like Klaus and I were talking about this earlier in the year, and Manny, how Klaus like, oh, you can't put more than like 80% on like two guys, and like,
Yeah, he conceded that one.
it's a different era. I mean, I'm not laughing at Klaus. I'm laughing at the era we're in. To be honest, that like this is absurd. Like how far, to your point, like how hopeless it is. Like it's like Zverev. It's hopeless. Like there's no way through for Zverev at this point.
No way through. No way through.
and I'm pretty sure it's hopeless for Shelton too. We just haven't seen it enough times yet to convince ourselves. So
The
I don't
one
know.
thing that gives me hope with Shelton is that, and
Yeah,
I bring this up all the time, and people can laugh at me for it, but you got to remember he wasn't really a serious tennis player until his teens. So like
right.
the curve upwards has been so steep, and we've seen it, and we saw him make, and it was really encouraging to see the improvements he made on the return and the tactics, during the month of August. So like there's like we haven't seen the finish of that curve yet. And there's nothing to tell you that curve can't keep
Yeah.
going. I think that's the
But
thing that like with Shelton gives you hope.
but also
But there's a
Shelton
long way to go. He's got to go a long way.
he's
I
got a
get
long
it.
way, but Shelton also believes that he can get there, and also he's a phenomenal athlete, so he has the athletic capability to reach that level, right? Whereas I feel like Zverev has just like lost all hope and just conceded. It feels
Shelton or Fonseca, who is the higher ceiling at this point?
Shelton. Fonseca needs to improve a lot athletically.
Yeah, it's got to be Shelton. He's not that much older than Joe and has accomplished a lot more right now.
And
So it's hard to say, hard to put a cap on either of their ceilings, but Fonseca can't keep the ball in court right now. So
yeah, but
he's
also
got some
Shelton
work
has
to
a
do.
lot more dog, right? Like we commented about it a lot. Like
Then
Shelton has
Fonseca,
a lot more dog.
I'm not ready to count out Fonseca's dog.
yeah, I'm not ready to do that either. I think
Uh,
Fonseca. I don't know if it's a dog issue for Fonseca or if it's
Yeah,
he's just not
you're
fit
probably
yet.
right.
Like he's still young.
All right,
he won. The
let's talk
Brazilian
about
won his first title in Buenos Aires. That's some crazy stuff
yeah, he's
if you
also
know the
young.
sports relationship between those two.
Yeah, I mean
And he came back like several times in that event, didn't he? Or he had several close
Yeah,
matches, came
yeah.
back
and he
several
beat
times. I
Cerundolo
don't
in the
doubt his
final.
dog. I think I doubt a lot of other things with Fonseca, but I don't doubt his dog.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, he does struggle on quick surfaces. He does. I mean, Shelton has a long way to go. Fonseca has even a longer way to go.
Agreed, agreed. It's just
So,
that he's younger, and like that's why
yeah.
I agree with you guys. By the way, that I think Shelton has the higher upside. I was just asking the question.
All right, let's talk about some more of the mediocre guys. So set a line on Rublev versus Lechka. I think it's a fascinating matchup. Both guys kind of made it. Well, Lechka made the quarterfinals. Rublev made around 16. But if they played at the U.S. Open, where would that line be? I
I'll
guess.
let you go first, Smooth.
Yeah, let's start with you.
Do we know they're head to head?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I sprinted to that
We
because I know
do.
there is a head to head because I
I have it.
remember
I have it. I
it's
have
three
it.
two Rublev.
It's 3-2 Rublev. With Rublev beating him last year in straight sets at the U.S. Open. Interesting. I probably set this at like Rublev minus 130, 140. Rublev minus 140 is probably where I put this.
Yeah.
I don't feel great about it. I'm not betting it, but that's probably where I put it.
I mean, it's two ball bashers, right? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I think Rublev has a little bit more in the dog area. I think Lechka is a little bit more talented in terms of a pure ball striker, a little bit more all around game, I would say.
He's got a better net game too.
He does. Well, it's hard to have a worse net game than Rublev. I mean, every time Rublev ran to the net when he was playing like Coleman Wong, I just like burst out laughing. Like it's hilarious. Like he's so useless at net. It's incredible. I probably have it at pure pick, to be honest. It's hard to separate these two guys.
You, you're, I want Brad's guess, and then I'm going to give you guys the historical line data on it.
Okay, sure.
I'm gonna go. I was gonna split the difference between you guys and go Rublev minus 130, Lehechka plus 110.
Okay.
Okay. I don't hate that. The tactical matchup is super interesting. Two ball bashers. Lehechka plays negative defense. Rublev is I don't know. Anyways, last year at the U.S. Open, Lehechka closed at plus 237 and lost in straight sets. The time before that at Indian Wells, he closed at plus 282 and beat Rublev. So it looks like the market might have been. Now that I see this, I kind of think Rublev would have opened closer to minus 150 and probably would have come down to what we're thinking is what I'm thinking. But
Okay.
really interesting to see how far Rublev has fallen just this year. Because
Well, I mean, all you have to do is look at his ranking, right? He had been in the top. I mean, he had been like his consistency was amazing. I think he had like a 3 or 4 year stretch where he was like between like 3 or 4 and 10 in the world. I mean, I could go look it up again, but he had like some crazy stretch where he was like, never the top, but didn't leave the top 10. Um, and now this year he's down to 15. Like this has been a pretty bad year for him. But but yeah, to your point, Smooth, and I think that's different. Obviously, Lehechka's gotten better too. Like I mean, we insult Lehechka a lot on this. We used to love Lehechka, and then we just got tired of his wimpiness. Like he's just so wimpy. Like the
Yeah.
four double faults against Shelton, I think was like the breakup day for us.
it's a bad day for Lehechka backers, man. That
That
was
was
rough.
Well,
horrible.
I was a Lehechka backer, and like watching like a 4
And
DM.
then I backed him again in Cincinnati. Why? I don't know, but I
Oh,
did. It was horrible.
Well, it's
I
so
think,
like
oh,
it's
we were both on
enticing.
that, Smooth.
yeah, we were on him in
That was
Cincy. I think I was on Shelton in Stuttgart or wherever that was.
okay.
But
All right.
I was never again. He's such a wimp when things don't go his way.
Yep.
He just starts playing like a pissed off teenager. I don't have a better way to put
Yeah,
it.
he plays like a pissed off teenager, and like Rublev just turns into like a maniac, like a monster. So it's like both of these guys when it goes south, it really goes south, but in different ways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so on Rublev, guys, this is pretty incredible. I think this is fascinating. So from October of 2020 to April of 2025, his ranking was between 6 and 10 in the world.
Wow.
Wow.
He never cracked, from what I can see. I guess he got to five. Sorry, 5 and 10. But like that's amazing. Given that, like
That's
the yeah,
That long to be within those five spots. That's crazy.
but it kind of makes sense because like he's in every Slam quarterfinal, or he was
that's
up until this year. Like every year, he like every Slam he was in the quarterfinals, and then he just could never crack through. And that's kind. I mean, honestly, it's the story of that's Rublev, right? Like he's got enough game to be a really, 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 really good player, but he's so incomplete that he can't be the best or anything close to the best.
0-10 in Grand Slam quarters.
What?
0-10 in Grand Slam
Yeah,
quarters.
yeah.
Brutal.
Crazy. It is brutal. It is brutal.
But not only two or three where he really had a shot. Like most of them, he gets to the quarters and he's gonna lose.
I don't know. You'd be kind of surprised. He's had to play the big three times and Sinner one additional time. So he's had 6 cracks against people not named Carlos, Djokovic, Nadal, or Federer since 2017, and hasn't done it.
Yeah,
Tsitsipas
but
got
two of
him.
those
Medvedev,
were. I mean, three of those were Medvedev. Two of them being prime Medvedev, which I think is just a really bad matchup for Rublev.
Cilic at Roland Garros.
Yeah,
Judge Roland Garros is inexcusable. TFO at the U.S. Open. I know that's TFO's biggest event, but he should have gotten through that. Everything else is I think. I mean, it'd be
Okay,
interesting to
that's
see the
good.
lines, but I would think he would have been a pretty big dog in the other 8 of those matches.
That's probably right.
all
That's
right,
probably right.
let's move on to the next matchup. Bublik versus Fritz. I would love to see this actually. I mean Bublik, he was what a minus 120 favorite against Paul,
Yeah, yeah,
right? So
yeah.
I mean, based on that line, he would probably be a slight dog against Fritz, but like I don't. I think that's a really bad matchup for Fritz, to be honest. Like
Hmm.
I
I think this is one where you have to differentiate what you think the line would be versus what it should be. Because
yeah.
you guys might disagree,
That's a good point.
but I think the line
Hmm.
would be would probably be north of minus 150 for Fritz. Just because I think there's like probably a perceived gap on a US Open hardcourt between these two guys. But given the matchup and given and given how well Bublik played and given the fact that Bublik's been really serious now for 6 months,
Mhm.
um, I probably would say it should be like maybe like I would still have to favor Fritz, I think, but like maybe
Minus 135 or something
minus
like that.
140 ish. Yeah, I think maybe
Yeah.
somewhere in that line is where I would like think it should be, and I probably would like not want to back Fritz, and like I probably wouldn't want to back Fritz unless I was getting like minus 115, minus 120 to get some value, like
Well,
so I
Bublik
think
does everything well that Fritz hates, right? Like serving big, being unpredictable,
drop shots all over the place
drop
to bring Fritz
shots,
forward. Yeah. I mean,
touch
because it is
shots.
really, I think it is really interesting. Like you brought it up, man. I think it was fascinating. I don't really still, I know it ended up being a close match, but I still don't really understand why such out of form Tommy Paul was essentially a pick against Bublik.
Yeah, it didn't make much sense to me. I mean, it was a 3 unit play for me. Like it was.
Like, I mean, do we think? I mean, like, what level is Bublik? Like, should we be considering Bublik a top 10 player?
Oh,
Well, I mean,
I think it's a little early for that personally, but I'm open to it as the number one supporter of the Bublik coaster. I'm super down for that discussion, but I think it's a little early. I think he'd be a little longer against Shelton. I think he'd be closer to against Fritz. I think he'd be closer to like plus 180. Um,
Oh,
in a
he'd
best
be
of
play
five
at plus
contest.
180. I'd hammer that.
Oh, I'd hammer it too. I'd hammer it too. But I know Bublik is a tough matchup for Fritz, but I think Fritz is just as tough a matchup for Bublik. Fritz can sit there and handle Bublik's pace and rallies. I don't know, man. Taylor Fritz really bothers me.
Yeah,
And if
but
I called him Thomas Fritz, I'm sorry. My database on his line data calls him Thomas Fritz for whatever reason.
I mean, but Bublik is a better version of Terrence Otmane, and we saw what did against Fritz in
I
Cincinnati.
think the difference would be, I think the thing that would maybe try, I agree with you, Smooth. The baseline rallies wouldn't be a problem for Taylor. The issue would be if Bublik decided to throw in, 100. I can't remember how many drop shots he threw in against Tommy Paul. They said the stat after the match was something insane, but that would be the issue for Fritz because Fritz still isn't great. Like, he's still not the most athletic. He still is pretty stiff. Like, I mean, honestly, like, good for Taylor. He's done so much in his career. Like, he's probably one of the guys I applaud more than anybody else on the tour because, like, he's clearly got issues that he's never going to be able to solve, but he really does his best to improve them and work around them.
Right.
Hmm.
He's doing the best with what he has for sure. I agree with that point. I think against Bublik is someone who takes every chance he gets on any baseline rally he gets and doesn't really do much to create those chances. And Fritz just doesn't give them very often. I think that would lead to Bublik really stretching his margins. But man, I don't know. I don't know why I'm still talking
But
about this. I love Bublik. I would hammer that at plus whatever number. It wouldn't matter. So
but Fritz, what he does is he tries to bait you to go down the line, but Bublik like entertains that. He loves that. Like
John, man.
the thing is, would Bublik go down the line too early in points?
Yes.
It's probably yes, but if he can execute enough of them, that's really going to make it trouble for Fritz, especially with how good Bublik is in the forecourt, you know.
I
It
Um,
think
would be a
that's the bigger
fascinating
problem. My
matchup.
take is that the problem would
and
be
I
the
don't
forecourt.
think Fritz would be able to get into too many Bublik service games because that's a big problem for Fritz. Like he wins ugly, he doesn't get into a lot of. We saw how much success Jerome Kim had, just bombing serves for 3 hours. Um,
We saw that a little bit at the U.S. Open, but I want to look up what Fritz is just like general, and it's obviously super, super general, but overall, Fritz is, I mean, he gets aced more than the ATP average. Um, but his
He
return
wins.
points one it's pretty close to average on hard. Like, I think it's like I would have like for a top 5-10 player, yes, his return, defensive game, athleticism, blah 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 is poor. But it's not like it's poor for the ATP tour. I'd say he's probably like solid in all those aspects. And it's just like because he's a top 5 player, we expect more.
right. Yeah. All right,
The
let's.
over is definitely a look.
Yeah, that's true. In that matchup, the overs would be a look. But he'd probably be set at like 41 and a half.
No, it doesn't matter. No number too high. Hit it.
All right,
Oh,
let's do two more. So let's have some fun with one kind of it's a lower ranked matchup and then one higher ranked matchup. So I guess let's start with a higher rank. We'll talk the two semi losers, Djokovic versus FAA. If they played like a third place match at the U.S. Open, where would you price that? I'll start with Brad here.
Does Djokovic get to be like re in like does Djokovic get to be like reinvigorated with health?
yeah. The
No.
timing of the match matters here. Like, is it after his match against Carlos?
No, okay, so just say that they played in the semis.
Okay. Okay.
And we're going to assume that Djokovic is not tired. I think if Djokovic
Yeah.
isn't tired, he's a pretty big favorite there. I mean, I think it's I don't know, probably 5 games. And I guess what's that going to equate to? Like mine maybe a 250-ish to like probably it's like a I don't know, minus 280 plus 220 kind of line, like roughly. Like I
Yeah.
that I just think like the FAA hype got a little bit crazy. Like, yes, he made the semis. He did play a good match against Sinner, but like I wasn't impressed really up to that. Like, yeah, he played well against Zverev, but that was pathetic and just really sad from Zverev. Rublev didn't do much to really offer resistance. So like I'm I'm still not that hyped up on general FAA. Like I still have him as kind of like a top 20-ish player on hardcourt, maybe like a borderline 20. Um
I mean, when he played Sinner, that was his best match of the tournament, and he still got beaten pretty handily. He played an amazing second set, but
but again, that tells you the gap, right? Like that tells you the gap between the top two and everybody else. Like
right,
it just doesn't matter.
yeah,
I mean, Shapo had 3-love in the third set, break point to go up double break,
didn't
and that
didn't
was just didn't matter.
right.
Still lost by like 7.5 games. Like,
Oh, no is no.
yeah, no means no.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree with you. And I also think Djokovic has such a massive tactical advantage over FAA. In best of five,
Huge.
he'd find a hole that FAA just wouldn't be able to get out
I
of.
feel like a great line to bet there would be like the 3-1 Djokovic at like plus 300 is probably what if I was had to bet that. Or
Yeah,
what you probably would get like a 250 or 300 on that, and that's probably what I would bet.
I'd agree. Are you on the same page, Smooth?
Yeah, I'm on the same page. I'm not sure what the line would be. I'm trying to think about it. The last time Felix was in this form, ironically, he beat Djokovic right after the U.S. Open at the Laver Cup. Not that that really matters. I don't have line data on it, but
Manny knows my thoughts on Laver Cup
Yeah,
victories.
I'm
hey,
starting
they're
to
very important. I'm considering
share
going to
those
the Laver
thoughts.
Cup this weekend, so I don't want to hear any Laver Cup slander.
I mean,
It's a
I did
very
enjoy it.
important
I've
event.
attended it from 2018 to 2022 straight. So like
Oh,
I've
really?
been to four or
Okay.
five editions of it, and I've liked it. I mean, it was kind of my way of seeing other cities and stuff. But I'm starting to adopt Brad's take on Labor Cup. It's a joke.
It's a
Like
total joke. Yeah, no, I mean it's not they're out there to have a good time, but
yeah.
Smooth Man can get down to go root for Joe Fonseca in San Francisco. That could be rad. But then they replaced someone with Riley Opelka, and that's not great.
Yeah, they put
So
and who? Oh, yeah, I can't actually. Yeah, it is like it's
Jensen
not a great
Bernstein.
lineup.
I think Agassi kicked Tiafo off the team and put Demonor in.
Did he kick him off?
I think he's not there.
Oh, I
No, I
thought he
mean
just
TFO dropped
resigned.
out, but
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean maybe kicked him out, but yeah,
well,
I
he
don't.
can't
Yeah,
win 3 games in a set against Mensik. We'll
No,
get
that's
to
not
Davis
good.
Cup a little bit later, but
Yeah. No, back to Djokovic and Felix. Sorry for the thing. I agree with what you said, Manny. Tactically, this would be a destruction. I think my bet here would probably be Djokovic minus 2.5 sets if I had to.
okay.
Um, and the reason for that being, minus 1.5 sets, probably both, depending on what the lines looked like. If that minus 1.5 sets was down to minus 150-ish, I would love it there. But
Hmm.
what I'm thinking is that Djokovic, if you take a set off Djokovic in a best of five match, you fundamentally change the calculus of the match. So I just kind of think at that point the the everything's off, especially with FAA. If he's able to take a set, he's likely forcing deep sets. I don't know, in terms of a line, probably with the form they had, I bet it opens at like minus. I think what Brad said is probably about right. Would you say minus 220
minus
plus
two
180?
eighty plus 220. That's a
Yeah,
wide vig.
yeah,
It
yeah,
depends
yeah.
on how much the vig, but yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
DraftKings.
close to plus 300. Yeah.
That's a DraftKings big, Brad.
No, DraftKings is worse. DraftKings, like, yeah. The
Uh,
American sports books are not the way, guys. Like, I mean,
no.
if you're on this podcast, I'm sure you figured that out. But the American sports books are not the way.
All right, let's have some fun to end this recap. So we got to talk about some low rank guys, some guys who are laughing stocks. I mean, relative. The new one of the new six kings, Sissipas,
Oh my
and
God.
against Munar. I think this is a fun matchup of contrast of styles. Two guys kind of on opposite trajectories relative to their level. Um, I'll go first here. I mean, for me, it's just so hard to back Tsitsipas in any capacity. He's just it doesn't even feel like guys that are underpowered are good matchups for him anymore when they used to be. Like he used to destroy guys like Alex Muller and Demonor and all these underpowered guys, and now guys like Altmaier are beating him. Um, so I probably put Munar as a slight favorite, probably like a minus 140, minus 150 favorite in that matchup. At any dog price on Munar, I'd probably hit it, to be honest. You agree?
Yeah, I agree with you. And I was gonna say I actually don't even think the
Wow.
match would be that good for Tsitsipas anymore. Like Munar's beef, like Munar's not like this clay court grinder anymore. Like he's beefed. I mean, like his serve is not like Ben Shelton, but he's beefed up the first serve a little bit. He's beefed up the forehand. He's playing more aggressively. Like, I mean, if he's not sick and coughing all over the court, yeah. I'm still really upset. I backed the over in that Munar
Oh,
Musetti
against
match, and that
Mazzetti,
was
he was coughing. You're
like I
you.
get okay, Smooth. I know you think the other way about this. Like I get it. Maybe you can argue Musetti's a much better player than Munar. I don't think you can argue that Munar was 100% given like he was what 3-1 in love or something. Like I don't think that was full Munar. Like
It's funny, Piranha backed him Munar too, and like, I got back home and checked my phone and Piranha's like, "What's all this coughing about?" It's like
yeah,
I had to
like
laugh. I turned it on and I'm like, he lost the first two sets, 6-2, 6-1, and it's like I just see him coughing in the corner there. And I'm like, Jesus.
but I
Uh,
think the other interesting like the lines on Tsitsipas have been really strange. Because like he opened, I remember not opened. I think he got in Cincinnati. He or not Cincinnati. When did he play? Was it Cincinnati that he played Marjan? It was basically pick,
yep.
which
Yep.
I thought was the market finally giving up on Tsitsipas. But
Dude, he
then
closed at
like,
minus 109 at Pinnacle against Marozon. Sorry.
which is basically pick, right? Like,
Yeah, that's crazy. That just didn't sound right. And I was checking. I'm like, Jesus, that's wild.
Yeah, I still
Yeah.
bet Marjan there and got burned.
but then the interesting thing was, and I'd have to go back and look it up, and I don't have it up right now. But like, I remember then he went to like Winston. He won that match, and then he was a big favorite against Bonsai again. I think he was a big favorite against Boo, which was
hmm
not a good matchup for him, and he lost that in Winston Salem. So like, I'm really fascinated right now by like what the market thinks of Tsitsipas because it seems like the market can't like the market like they're kind of ready to give up, but not completely ready to give up yet. And I feel like
Hmm.
it's time to give up.
It's time to give up. I mean, these Munar, in the past would be a fantastic matchup for Tsitsipas. The two guys he played at the U.S. Open, Muller and Altmaier, those are guys that he would beat up easily because they're underpowered guys, right?
hmm
He'd struggle against guys like Hamad or Rinderknecht, guys with big serve plus ones, right? Who can attack that backhand. Those are guys that Tsitsipas would struggle with, and now he's struggling against all those other guys, those underpowered guys. So I don't know. I mean, it's crazy how much he's declined. Where would you put that line? Would you make Tsitsipas a favorite? Smooth?
Um, yeah, he'd probably be like a minus 130 favorite, is what I'd say, and I'd probably play him there to tell you the truth. It's
Mm.
been super, super ugly though since Roland Garros ended. He's 4-7, losses to Mickelson, Royer, O'Connell, Bonzi, Boo, Altmaier, and Fonseca most recently at the Davis Cup. So it's been awful. But to your point, like Munar is the exact kind of guy that he can hunt. Um, he has the best weapons on the court, and for all of Munar's improvements, I'm still not a firm believer in the 28-year-old, to tell you the truth. But maybe I should be. He made me a decent amount of money during the US Open.
Munar?
Yeah.
Did you back him against Musetti?
No. No, I faded him against Musetti. I backed
Oh,
him against Diallo.
good. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think I was on
I
that.
don't know, man. I've been pretty pumped. I think I've been backing Munar pretty much all year. Like I think
Yeah,
I don't know. I watched him. It's really funny. I watched the match, and I don't remember why. Probably because it was actually a good. Like the agent swing is not bad for this time zone. Because if you're somebody who stays up a little bit later, like the match is actually not this tournament, but some of the matches start at like 11 o'clock midnight.
Yeah.
I watched him play like the Hong Kong semi against Muller, and like I think after that I became like a Munar, like a pro Munar guy. He's been pretty good on hard. He's even on he took a set off Alcaraz on grass, I think at Queens Club. Like he's been like like he's still there's still some head issues there. Like can he close matches? I don't know about that. Like he gets a little nervous closing matches, but uh
yeah, but so does Sissipas.
No,
well,
you're
no, he
Brad.
just gets injured at 5-3 up in the third.
Brad, you're. I love the diving into Munar's hard court game. He's looked great on hard courts, and it's kind of been a huge surprise, as I'm sure you're aware. He used to be instant fade for me on quicker surfaces. He used to be exclusively a clay guy. I'm trying to find his stats before this. He's 15
Well,
and 10
here's a
on hard.
fascinating stat for you guys this year.
Yeah,
Munar this year on hard, 15 and 10. And obviously this
yeah,
lacks any context, but it still I think is fascinating. Munar on hard this year, 15 and 10. On clay, 6 and 10.
Wow,
Which
that's
like when would you
crazy.
ever have thought that?
never.
And last year he was 6 and 13 on hard and 25 and 17 on clay. And that is basically consistent with the rest of his career before this year, which I think started to your point in the Asia swing last year. This weird turnaround, but it's very interesting, Munar. I
Well, I
probably
think
won't
he's
bring.
like I said, I think he's really like I think he's changed the way he plays. Like he used to like I said, he's never gonna be like he's not gonna be Bublik, but like he's become more of a standard-ish player. Whereas I remember him before as a grinder, and it's fascinating with Munar because like I mean I remember Munar came up, didn't Munar come up pretty young? Like I mean, isn't it what was it like 2019, 2018 that he came up
Yeah, he's
and
been
like cracked
around
yeah,
like
2018.
80 in the rankings, like for like 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, and he just hovered.
He just hovered around there. He couldn't like get higher than 60, I think. So Munar or
Yeah, now he cracked the 50. He cracked the top 50 for the first time this year.
On a neutral hard court, Munar or Mute?
Oh, Mute.
On clay, I would take Mute. On hard, I might take Munar.
I think I agree with Smooth. I think Mute, but I don't think it's that wide. I think actually as players, I have them probably power rank pretty similar. But I think I like Mute in that matchup a little better.
Okay. All right, before we get into the Chinese 250s, let's talk some Davis Cup. Um, I know Brad, it's been brutal with your betting.
I've lost I think like 10 consecutive bets now. I've lost 15 units without winning a single bet over the past like 2 weeks. So it's
It's
pretty
tough.
brutal on the bankroll. Um yeah, this has been I don't
Yeah.
know, it's been pretty bad.
From
So I don't know that I should be discussing Davis Cup in any sort of intelligent fashion because clearly I haven't known very much.
You also didn't have much
Um
luck on the blackjack table when we
yeah, it's been about the same. Yeah.
the dealer
My
didn't bust.
favorite
We
my
we played like
favorite
15 turns,
quote.
the dealer didn't bust once. It was horrible. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
My favorite quote was Holger Rune talking about like before the Davis Cup, talking about how he now has the necessary hairs on his chest to play Davis Cup against Spain. Which I guess not after that, whatever that was against Pedro. I mean, like, and I didn't see any of it, but I can't see any fathomable reason.
He also said
Like,
guys prefer Laver Cup over Grand Slams.
who said that?
Holger Rune.
Oh, did he say that also? Yeah. I mean, the guy, yeah. So maybe Holger Rune's not the best guy. He also is also in Holger Rune escapades. He's got the whole dating issues now going on with like trying to date half the WTA tour and getting
Oh yeah,
rejected.
yeah, yeah. Kalinskaya. Yeah, he said she said Holger Rune asked him out 8 times.
10.
We also asked out Kudermatova, even though she's married, and has I think a kid. So yeah,
I guess
there's some.
Holger Rune is going to be dating his mom pretty soon.
Poker's got that dog in him, man. That's what it is.
I just wish he had that dog on the tennis court. Like.
Oh man, it's great.
I mean, really, like with Holger Rune, man, like what a disappointment. Because like the talent is still there. I mean, he beat, and I get it, it's one match, but like he beat Carlos in Barcelona to win a 500 like 5 months ago. But like the dude, like the immaturity, and I think at this point I've basically given up. Like I mean, he's not Tsitsipas, he's better than that, but like I think he kind of is who he is, and he's this up and town guy, and I've kind of given up because it's been years of this like lack of maturity. But uh
Yeah,
it's
the
very
fate for
frustrating
Martinez, is very disappointing.
because he, I mean, he like I was beginning of the year, I was like, if there's somebody's going to challenge the big two, Holger Rune, but it's just not. The maturity isn't there. The week in, week out isn't there. And even like the peak game seems to be down too. Like, I mean, what was it like 2020, 2021? He was beating, maybe it was, I can't remember exactly when it was, but when he was first coming up, he had like that Asian swing and indoor swing when he was beating
Yeah.
like top guys.
Oh,
Like,
that Paris run in I think it was 2021 was
well,
insane.
that was the culmination of it, but it was
Yeah,
like a good, like it was a good, I think it was a good like 3 months he had.
yeah, yeah.
But now it just seems like
I also
like,
thought the U.S. choking in front of their home crowd was very, very disappointing. I mean, the U.S., it seems like they have this negative attitude towards Davis Cup. Like they take it seriously, but they don't. Um, but
oh,
for
I don't know. I
Tiafoe,
don't think they
I mean, for
actually take it seriously.
Tiafoe
I
to
think
not even win more, Tiafoe to not even win 3 games in a set against Lechko or Mensik, I mean, it shows how far he's regressed too.
I guess those two guys, because like Smith, I'd like to get your thoughts on those because like those are two guys who like tennis fans would know, and those are two guys who are like thought of as like pretty like really strong players. But I mean, I think Manny and I have both been really disappointed in both of those guys. Honestly, for a long time now. Like I mean, TFO had the flash in the quarters of the French this year, and he had the flash at the U.S. Open last year. But like I just think it's been really disappointing. Honestly, it's just like the general level for both those guys.
Gafo and Lehechka, you said?
No, Tiafo and Rune.
Oh, and Runa. Okay, that makes more sense. Tiafa, yeah, I'll take Runa first. I'm not ready to give up on Holger just yet. He's still pretty young, but if he was what he was and ended up as Tsitsipas in 6 years, then I don't think anyone would be surprised at this point. Tiafo, I don't know. At a certain point, he like kind of insanely overachieved, considering his background and his style and the tools at his disposal. And on the other hand, it's rare you see someone that athletic, that unorthodox find this level of success. So I don't know. I do think that Tiafo should be playing a lot better than he's playing right now, but I'm not sure he should have reached any higher heights. But it's definitely true that his level right now is beneath him, I think.
He's now
Runa,
relegated to one of the clowns.
sorry, yeah, dude, it's a joke out there, man. He's I mean, like, it's starting to feel really stupid when in every single Grand Slam there's like a Rolex ad or whatever with Francis on it, and dude's just freaking out. And I'm watching this ad at in the semifinals, and it just feels stupid. And I walk past Lululemon, and there's the Francis Tiafoe ad, and oh, dude was just eliminated. So it's talent's there. He showed it at Roland Garros that when he cares, he can turn it on. Um, I don't know. I'm really high on his coaching box. I think that was a really good change at the beginning of the year. So it's a bummer to see him regress at a time when he needed his best. Where is he at in the rankings now? Is he all the way down to like 36 or something insane?
Yeah, he's got to be pretty low.
29.
He-
He
That's
lost the
that's
U.S. Open points. I mean, remember he's got the French quarter, so that will keep him afloat until May of next year. But yeah,
that's a bad. I don't know what his plans are, this Asian swing, but I mean, dude's the dude is not known for racking up points between
Um,
January and
his,
September.
I
So,
mean, I think the
uh,
problem with Tiafo is his intensity is too low. Like he's very, very lackadaisical out there. He hits way too many drop shots in inopportune positions. Um, and he just kind of massages the ball around. He doesn't really like hit with any purpose or does anything. Like I feel like his bigger priority is pleasing the crowd rather than playing good points.
yeah,
I
I don't
just
know what
love
his
the it's this is from a while back, but the now I'm barely sitting here losing to clowns quote. Because like to
Why
say
don't you
that,
look
and
at yourself in
now
the
he's been
mirror?
relegated to one of the clowns. Like he
I
keeps losing
know.
to the clowns. Like that's what you are.
Isn't Struff a clown? Didn't he lose to him in straight sets?
Yeah, I mean it's
sure
and
did.
obviously these guys aren't actually we're not actually calling these guys clowns because like these guys are actually really good players, but for
Yeah,
Tiafoe to
but
make
that's
that
what
comment
that's what
is
he was referring to. I mean,
right, right.
I'm sure he would categorize Jan Leonard Struff as a clown when he made that
Yeah,
quote. And he
yeah.
just got blasted by him in straight sets at the US Open.
Can't be
So
losing to Jan Lennon Struff in a best of five. Can't have that.
And
Can't be having that.
straights, not even competitive.
yeah, not even competitive. Not even
Just can't be having that. It's just unacceptable. He's
I
better.
mean,
He's a
honestly,
better
like
player than that.
Martin Dam, like that Dam match was like, I get it. Martin Dam is a big serve, but that was surprisingly difficult. Like,
I know.
if you're, like I don't care how big the guy's serve is. I mean, you got to be, the guy's outside the top 400. Like, you got to be, you know, beating guys like that.
I mean, I do think Tiafo struggles against attack minded players. It does seem like that. Struve, Lechka, Mensik. His return is really bad. I don't know what his return stats are, but I can't
They
imagine.
have not been good for a long time. He gets aced more
Yeah.
than almost anybody on the tour for a long time now. I don't. I mean, I don't know. I do. It is interesting, man. I do think this happens too to us. Like, I think being in America, we're so disgusted because Smooth, to your point, like Tiafoe's on every ad. Like he's probably the third most advertised player in the sport behind Sinner and Alcaraz in the US.
Hmm.
And it's just so frustrating to like know he's the third most advertised player and like there's 40 guys who are playing better tennis than him right now, if not more. And yet you see him on every ad as if he's top five. I think we almost like just like hate the dude, like, and we almost have like blind hatred, Manny. So that was an interesting thought. There probably is actually some nuance to think through with him instead of just like being like blindly anti TFO.
Yeah. What was
I
the best
mean,
tie of the Davis Cup weekend?
What?
What was your favorite tie of the Davis Cup weekend?
Honestly, it's got to be some of the upsets. Like, I mean, I think Austria. Like, I mean, it's not like it's. I think Austria beating Hungary was actually pretty amazing. Just because
That was
like
cool.
yeah, to see just see that was cool. I thought despite the Netherlands losing, like the Dutch really get into Davis Cup and it was indoors, so it had a really cool atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean,
Despite
Bodek I think is the biggest choke artist on the tour. Um,
I don't know if that's true, but there are a few other choke artists as well, but he's in the group.
he's up there. Yeah.
He's up there. Yeah,
Um,
I like that a lot. Obviously Spain coming back to beat Denmark was cool, although I was really disappointed just because like I don't know, I feel like
I thought the match of the Davis Cup was Collignon versus De Minaur. I was extremely impressed with Collignon in that match, especially in that first set was 92 minutes, and he battled. I mean, it was incredible. It was incredible.
I don't know how much Demoners made a lot of comments lately about fatigue. Um, I think he's mentioned it multiple times. I think it's interesting because you're seeing more players bring it up, but for a guy who's his game, he's got one of the most physical games on the tour in
Yeah.
terms of most physically demanding games. And you wonder, we saw him get injured last year. Um, and I wonder if
I hear you.
I
Just
wonder if the
think
end is sooner than we think for Demonor, despite him being only 26. I wonder.
the point.
I wonder. I'm not saying it's like the end is now. I'm saying
Yeah.
is he going to make it much past
I mean, I actually would
2019?
advise for him to just take the rest of the year off and come back for Australia. Like, I think having a couple months off would actually be good for him. Um, I don't know. If I was his coach, I'd probably be encouraging that, to be honest. It's not like he has a crazy amount of points to defend. Um, you know,
Yeah, except he's eighth in the world right now, so he probably wants to get to Turin.
Mm.
I guess. I
There's
guess.
a big money bag there if you make Turin.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a guy that I might look to fade here. Come, at the end of the
That's
year.
kind of where I was going with it.
So, I agree with you, Brad. I agree with you. Um, but I have to say, I was impressed with Collignon, despite because Demonor was still amped up for that match. It's not like I felt like his energy against Bublik at the French was pretty low. But his energy was high. Like he might be fatigued, but his energy level was high, and he was making a lot of balls still. Like Collignon played a hell of a match. So I don't want to take any credit away from him there, but
I just mean like he was pretty poor. I mean, he was pretty poor against FA at the U.S. Open too,
was
right? In the first four matches of the U.S. Open, I don't really count because those are all
yeah,
guys who he's miles above.
100%, 100%. All right, so that's good for recap. So. Brad, why don't you take it away with this new collaboration that we're doing with Smooth? I think it's super exciting.
Yeah, I mean, so it's kind of similar. I mean, I think really we have the what was it, three break points or
Yep.
not? Yeah, three break points. We've renamed it, rebranded it, Ace the Odds. We're bringing in Smooth to replace Luke Hawking Lines. Luke's kind of disappeared. We're not really. We hope all is well with Luke. We hope but maybe it's a good thing for him. I know I think he's a student, so I think maybe he's probably just busy with life. But given that we're bringing on our friend Smooth here to replace, so it'll be the three of us going at it. Pretty much the same rules apply. The new handle is at Ace the Odds.
One, two,
We'll be
three.
a little more ATP focused than we were previously. And we'll be doing so one of the exciting things, and we'll announce on the X page too for readers, but if we're gonna have some sort of fantasy football style, if you're an American, or some sort of non-monetary punishment for whoever comes in last place. So we would absolutely love to get the thoughts of the group uh, in terms of what the punishment should be for last place. Some sort of fun, reasonable punishment. I don't think we're thinking about any tattoos or any like life changing experiences they have to go through, but some sort of fun, moderate punishment for the loser.
That
Something
is.
that three dudes with careers can do and still have careers after. So,
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Excellent
Yeah,
way to
yeah.
put it.
No face tats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so it's going to be one bet a day from each of us. If we don't have a play because we don't think there's good value on the board, that's perfectly fine. I think we should try to aim for about 20 bets a month. We like to, transparency is very key. So I think it's important to put the odds that you got it and what it's playable to, what book you got it at, as well as a paragraph with logic, which I know isn't that's not
Smooth,
smooth
you're not gonna have a hard time with
problem.
a paragraph of logic.
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
think you're
you'll
gonna have
no,
a
we're
you'll
good.
problem.
We
you'll
got
hit the
we
words
got this.
limit.
We can have the same play, just because it's based on where we have value. I think for the purpose of this competition, this friendly competition, we should make these all one unit plays. Obviously,
Mhm.
they might be higher on our page as well. Like, but for the sake of like the ace to odds page, they'll kind of all be one unit plays because we have one play per day. Um, but I think you can put in your description, you can put how many like units you're actually playing, based on like how confident you are in the play. Um, so I think it's going to be really fun. It's a good way for us to advertise our play of the day per se, and like what play we're most confident in. So we'll continue to have Brad and I will continue having GBM plays in the popcorn tennis, and I'm sure Smooth will have all his crazy blender write-ups in on his page as well. So, um, any thoughts, Smooth, on this new
Dude,
collaboration?
I have so many thoughts on this collaboration. I'm so excited for it. I like the one U for every play thing. I kind of think it might be fun to introduce a twist down the line where maybe we get a 1, 2 you play a week or something.
Mm.
Um, I don't know. I'm open from the viewers to how to make this more, or the viewers, the listeners, to how to make this more engaging and competitive. This is gonna be a
Also,
good
I
time.
wonder if there's like
I'm
a
stoked.
cool like thing we can do to like bring the. We'll have to think about it. But if there's any ideas that viewers or readers have as to like how like you want to get involved, like I don't know, maybe like if like your bet gets backed by like the viewers, like maybe it's a bonus or something. I don't know, like something.
Yeah,
If there's any
definitely.
way to get the viewers
I
involved,
have
that
an
could be something
idea.
cool too.
Oh, I have an idea. I have an idea. What if we have a poll with our bets, and then the
Ooh,
viewers and the listeners pick one, and then we track the listeners aside,
I like that.
beside us. I don't know.
I
We can
like
talk about it
that.
offline. We
That's
probably should have
awesome.
talked about this before, but um, life stuff. I don't know. It could. I'm really excited. If that's
Oh,
not
this is
obvious.
great. This is
Yeah.
awesome. And we're all part of Sharp Circle, which is also great. So I think maybe not this year, but starting 2026, we can make this a separate account on Sharp Circle and track the plays there. And I think that'll be cool. I know Reese is excited about it. He's been doing excellent work with Sharp Circle. I mean, it's an absolutely amazing service. It highlights transparency and he's just a genuinely good guy that's running this thing for us, and we can't be more thankful. So just exciting times. We just want to grow the community. This is our hobby. We all work full-time jobs, but like this is what we're passionate about, and I hope it shows. Um, so we're
Yeah, way
excited.
more passionate about this than pretty much anything else.
Yeah, probably.
Definitely.
You didn't have to mention that, Brad.
My life is not that exciting.
All right. So without further ado, I guess let's get right into Chengdu and Hangzhou. So let's see if I can. I'm gonna pull up the draws here. All right, here we go. All right, so let's start with Chengdu. So, some tidbits about the tournament. I believe this is played at altitude, right?
Think about, I want to say about 1,000 feet, maybe, so some
Yeah.
altitude.
It's pretty quick. No,
I would say, I watched it. I was watching this and Hangzhou. I think both are actually pretty quick.
yeah.
People have
Super
called
interesting.
Hangzhou medium. I'm not sure I agree.
It's
I think I would
so
put it in the
so
fast category.
Hangzhou is new. It's last year was the first year ever. It played medium fast. I think. Um, sorry I interrupted. I want to comment on this though. Piranha thinks it's pretty quick.
Hmm.
Um, Chilich won it last year, which I think suggested might be pretty quick. So I think some caution here because it's at sea level otherwise, Hangzhou. Um, so I don't know. I'm interested
But
to hear
Piranha
y'all's thoughts
pointed
on the
out
speed.
that in Hangzhou, there's been a 9.3% ace rate so far in the tournament,
That's quick.
which it's pretty high. So maybe they've sped the courts up. Maybe probably some more data points would be good. I mean, from the naked eye, from what I watched yesterday, it was pretty quick. It looked pretty quick.
Yeah, I'm just going based on naked eye.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
but we know Chengdu is fast. So
I mean,
now,
but that's the interesting thing is like 9.3% ace rate actually is not like
That's not
I don't think
crazy.
that's insanely. That's really not that's not that insanely quick even of itself. But I
Mhm.
think it's more like the players. I don't know if we've seen like any like, a whole like any. We haven't seen I don't know how many serve bots we're playing like in
Yeah, for the
Hangzhou.
players that have been playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
He
right.
he
Well,
he had it last year 18% above average ace rate.
hmm.
And he thinks it's potentially very fast. That's just
Right, and
based on
what
comment.
Piranha does that's really cool is he actually does like he does impact he adjusts for not just the servers, but also the returners. So he adjusts for like it's versus I think it's versus his ace projections. So it's like he's
Mhm.
adjusting for both the servers and the returners,
Interesting.
Yeah, he does
which I
take.
think makes it a pretty good indicator. And like I said, I watched when I was watching Hangzhou this morning a little bit. I watched a little bit. I think it was the Manarino Yibing Wu match, and I was surprised by how fast it was playing.
Yeah, it looked pretty quick.
Again, just eye test, nothing really intelligent there.
All right, so now that we have some quarter prices up, because all the qualifying is done, I guess let's go through these draws pretty quickly. We'll start with Chengdu, which is played at altitude. I think it's quicker of the two still. We got Musetti. He will play the winner of Atmane and Prismic, which I think is the best first round match. It's a fantastic, fascinating match. McConnell will play Bodik van de Zandschulp, and then Bashilashvili will play Sebastian Baez. Um, I mean, in terms of quarter prices, they're up on Bovada, right?
Yep.
So you have Musetti at minus 140, Bodic at plus 650, Prismic at 7 to 1, Atman at 8 to 1, Bash at plus 850, Mackey at plus 900, and Baez at 18 to 1. I'll tell you, I don't want to back Musetti here, that's for sure. Not on these quick courts.
Oh,
Um,
isn't he a defending finalist here?
he is. He did lose to Shang.
And I think he might be two-time. Didn't he do it? Didn't he do well here in 23 as well?
He did. I actually have a dark horse take on. Well, it's not that dark horse. He's the tournament favorite, but I think he's going to do very well here. I that minus 140 to win a quarter is the most disgusting thing I've ever heard, and I'm not touching it with a 10-foot pole. But um, I I'm high on Lore this tournament.
Bro, have you seen some of the Alcaraz to win a quarter prices? Even like at slams, like or Sinner, like minus 700 or like so. I won't say minus one, but I would agree minus 140 to win a quarter of a 250s. I mean, but you've got to remember, like that sounds disgusting because it's to win a quarter, but it's two matches. The
Right.
first one is
That's
against
true.
Ottman or Prismich, who are both like I think we would say fringe tour level guys at this point. Like, yeah, Ottman had a great tournament in Cincinnati, but that's it. And then who else who on the bottom part of that quarter is I guess Bodic is like kind of sort of a threat. Like I don't think minus 140 is that wrong of a price on Musetti.
I'm sold. I want it at minus 140. I'm sold. Changed my mind. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if I was Musetti, I would want to play Prismic and not Atman. I think Atman can take the racket out of Musetti's hand, whereas I think Prismic,
Ottman did take the racket out of Musetti's hand in Rome, and actually he made Musetti quit.
yeah, it's true. It's a good point on clay of all places.
Yeah.
I
In
just don't
Rome
want.
at
I
his
don't
home
want to touch
event.
this. I don't want to touch this quarter. I have no play here. All right, let's move on. Second quarter, you got Greeksport, who's been struggling. I think he's coming back from injury. He didn't play Davis Cup, surprisingly. He will
He
play.
also made some comment about not feeling like not having joy on the court or something, I think.
Yeah, he did say mention that. Um, he'll be playing the winner of Taro Daniel and Coleman Wong. Shevchenko will play Monfils in the first round, and then Misalik will play Pericard. So in terms of quarter prices, Greeksport is plus 150, Pericard 3 to 1, Monfils plus 375, Coleman Wong 7 to 1, Misalic 9 to 1, Shevchenko 12 to 1, Tara Daniel 18 to 1.
Man, can you flash those up a second? It's a lot. That's a lot you said in a very short period of time.
Okay, yeah. I'll try to pull it up here.
On Musetti, I wanted to add one thing. I don't know if I said it, but I know that it's important for him to make Turin this year. It's like a point him and his coaches have talked about.
Hmm.
He's very, very close. And defending these points is important. So I do expect him to show up like fully motivated and like not messing around.
I don't think
Um,
motivation is generally an issue for Musetti, and I 1,000%
yeah,
agree, Smooth.
yeah.
He is
I
right
just
now,
want
I
to make
think,
sure.
in eighth in the race. He is right now in eighth in the race. He's 80
Mhm.
points up on an injured Draper, 300 points up on an Aliassime. So to your point, I think like if he can, I mean, this should be some. I mean, at least, at least 90 points for a semi. I think it's 90 or 100 for a semi should be attainable here, and that matters in this race.
Right. I feel it.
Yeah, I hear you, but I just don't like these prices. Like I don't like minus 140 and plus 210 to win this tournament. Like it's just not good enough for me. Brad, I
That's
know you're on
probably.
Coleman Wong to win the title, right?
Yep.
Are
Oh
you?
no.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm dead.
What'd you say, Smooth?
I'm on Terra. We'll get to it later when we offer our picks, but you might be very surprised by my first
Okay.
one.
I'm on Taro Daniel too, Smooth.
Okay, let's go,
Yeah, I
Manny.
think there's some slight overreaction with Coleman Wong after that U.S. Open run. What price did you get on him to win the title? 40 to 1?
40 to 1.
Oof.
That's really good.
Like I just think this quarter is like I I mean, I don't know why we would believe in Greek sport at this point. Like maybe he shows up like rejuvenated after 2 weeks off, but or 3 weeks off, but I'm not a believer until I see it. Um Pericard at this point, he's just he hasn't. I mean, he hasn't been good this hardcore season. Yeah, it's quicker, which I guess could theoretically help him, but it's not going to help his return game. Misilic, he actually could lose that match to Misilic in round one.
I agree.
Um, and then
Uh,
actually, and then the other piece of this is if Monfils beats Shevchenko, that's an awful matchup for Pericard. I think.
yes. I mean, Monfils has been in horrible form recently, so I don't think I would want any part of that, unless I'm getting Monfils at a significant dog price. Uh, it just seems like a mess of a quarter to bet. Um, Shevchenko Monfils, I want no part of. Misalik Pericard is a very, very tough match to cap. And then Greek Sport is an unknown.
I mean, the real problem here is if Greek sport is at normal, is doing normal Talon Greek sport things,
Mhm.
it's him or or Pericard if he bots his way to the quarter. And
And
like Pericard is a complete wild card always, just because he could. I mean, we know what he is, right? Like he could just hit 100 aces in 3 matches and win the quarter that way. Um. So yeah, I hear you, Manny.
then theoretically, these should be good courts for Greek Sport, right? Really quick, where that serve plus one plays up. Um, but I just don't know with his health. So, all right, next quarter here we got Lorenzo Sonego will play Juan Masarundolo. The winner of that match will play Marcos Giron, who beat Ethan Quinn yesterday. Um, Jun Chen Shang beat Bergs in 3 sets. Painful loss for both of us. And he'll play Nakashima in the second round. Um,
What are the quarter prices there, Manny?
Order prices here are you got Nakashima at plus 125, Girona plus 325, Sonego at 4 to 1, Shang at plus 450, and Cerundolo or one Cerundolo at 11 to 1. Um, so I'm on Sonego here to win the tournament at 18 to 1. Um, I don't know. I like backing Sonego in these 250s. I think he has the upside to pull off matches in a row. Um, if he's confident and he found a purple patch, like seen it multiple times. Winston Salem, we've seen it in I believe Mets in an indoor event once upon a time. So we've seen him catch these purple patches because he has that high upside. So I would rather in a long shot outright, I'd rather back someone like that rather than like uh I don't know, like a Misalik, for example. So that was kind of my thought process there.
What do you think about Juanma in this quarter? He caught a little bit of heat in this in the Challenger coming up to this tournament. I think he won it actually.
He
Um,
did.
He did win it.
Yeah, which is something. It's not nothing. I know he's not historically good on hard courts, to say the very least, but he strikes me as he could be live here against Sonigo in the first round. The
I want to
acclimation
talk about
is
that
tough.
match, Smooth. That's one of my
Yeah,
matches
I
to
do want to talk about
discuss.
that match.
Okay.
Yeah, I
We
got two
wait.
bets in that match, so
Love it.
I'm excited. Yeah, no bets in this quarter for me.
I like Shang at plus 450 here. I think that's really long on the defending champion.
Ooh.
Nakashima is a very winnable matchup. Nakashima struggles with lefties. Um, Also, like, is just showing up for the Aegis swing. That's typically a tough spot. And then I'm not super scared of the rest of the quarter. Plus 450 feels very long, and it feels like if he beats Nakashima, then probably have a different out perspective on him for the rest of the tournament.
I'm very curious what the scheduling is going to be because if he has to play back those two matches back on back-to-back days, I think that's going to be problematic.
Yeah, his back.
Yeah.
That's my concern with Shang. It's like I 100% agree, but I mean, have we like when's the last time? I mean, it's been a bad. Yeah, obviously Shang's been hurt. He came back from injury. I don't know, man. And honestly, it's
Yeah.
not like he went 3 sets with Zizou today. Um, and I think it was a pretty even match. I mean, after the
Mhm.
first set, Bergs has been not good recently. I don't know the like Shang retired against Bellucci at the U.S. Open, lost to Echeverry, lost to Duckworth. Like I don't know. I get it. There's a lot of talent there, and yeah, he's at home. He's in a good spot. I lost another unit today backing Bergs against Shang in round one. But I'm not high on Shang. He's a good player, but we've got to see him like stay healthy for
I'm
like some
probably
period
going to
of
be
time.
backing Nakashima. I just think he's just too steady for Shang right now.
Yeah, line's moving towards towards Shang right now.
Okay.
It's I don't know. I can write off. I guess the copium in me is I can write off his previous performance as like he was coming back from injury. I think working himself into match fitness. Uh, I don't know. We'll see. We'll get a pretty good tell. I'm on the over in this match.
Okay.
Over 22 and a half. So I don't. I expect it to
I like
be
that look.
relatively
I like
competitive.
that look, especially you get a day off and like Nakashima, he has a hard time beating anyone by margin just because of how unathletic he is. And like I
I
do
have a hard time with backing Shang in any tournament to go to advance,
yeah.
to like from an outright perspective. Like I said, it's just like because I mean he had issues with physicality before this year. Like this is not the first time we've seen Shang have physical issues.
For
Yeah.
sure. For sure.
All right. And then we got Yi Zhao massive upset against Cam Nori.
That guy's got weapons, huh, Yi Zhao? I saw a little mini some highlights of that match against Nori today. That guy's got weapons. I mean, he's
Yes.
got issues. There's a reason why he's a challenger player, but he's got weapons.
I was very happy to cash the three sets there at plus 180. So that was one of
Great
my
bet.
better cashes yesterday. He'll play Chris O'Connell, who beat Quentin Halys, and then Luciano Darderi, the number two seed. Weird to see that how high he is. He'll play the winner of Thompson against Tabilo. Um, so Darderi is a plus 185 favorite to win the quarter. O'Connell plus 240. Thompson plus 325. Tabilo 5-1. Jout
Can you
plus.
flash that up again, Manny?
Yeah, I got it here.
Bobby was only 5-1. Oh,
To win 3 matches? Wow. I mean, wow. Um,
that's not long enough, and I wanted that to be
Not long
longer. I
enough.
wanted to play that, and that's I don't think playable for me.
Yeah, nothing's playable.
I'm surprised to see, I guess I'm not surprised to see Darderi the favorite just because it's just a really weak quarter in general.
It's,
I mean, yeah, I don't, yeah, it's really,
it's tough. It's tough.
I guess I
yeah.
kind of lean Darderi here if I like gun to my head had to place a bet.
Yep.
Um, just by virtue of the fact that he has to win two matches and is
Hmm.
he's just better than all of these other dudes. Even on a quick hard court where he can be unreliable. Like I don't like Christopher O'Connell. Like get out of here. Um, I don't know. This
All these
this
guys, I mean, honestly, these are all, this is,
This is
O'Connell's
a weak
been
quarter.
out of
this
form for a
quarter.
long time now. Thompson looked terrible in the Davis Cup. I mean, I thought the match against Burks, he just like he couldn't move. Like he looked like he was still hurt. Tabilo actually is interesting because
Yeah.
Tabilo looks like seems to be maybe he's back and like he did win a hardcourt tournament, right? Like back in 2024.
Yeah,
Um,
but then I'd rather back him to win the event at 28-1.
I don't know about that. You think he's a favorite? If you think he's like a close to 50-50 if he makes the semis and the finals in those two matches, I'd
Mm-mm.
way
But if
rather
he's
have the five
healthy,
to
he
one.
has the top end talent to beat most of the guys in this draw. Like if he finds the form that he had last year,
Is he better? I mean, who's going to come out of Q3? Probably like a Nakashima or like somebody of that
yeah, he
level.
can beat Nakashima.
Is he 50? I mean, is he 50-50 to beat Nakashima, Giron, or Shang or Sonigo?
Probably
Like,
not.
I actually think he'd be better off. Like, if you like the 28-1, you'd be better off playing. And I know you don't do this and it's hard to actually execute this, but I think you'd be better off playing the 5-1 to win the quarter and then rolling over after that and doing like a
Hmm.
massive rollover.
Yeah. Yeah.
He did lose to Juanma in that challenger that Juanma won
Hey, you
in the
know what?
final.
I watched the highlights of that of a couple of matches of Wanman and those challengers prepping for tonight. Wanman looked really like that forehand was firing. Like Wanman does have a forehand, and that forehand was firing.
One second, I have to go click a few buttons.
Was it firing more?
I just took Juanma privately. He convinced me. That was a great.
Yeah. I mean, how much has he improved his offense?
I mean, it's hard to say, right? It's 1 week. Like I watched highlights of two matches,
Yeah.
and it was like 7 to 10 minute highlights
I
of two
think
matches,
Sonigo is a
So
tough matchup for him because Sonigo is going to be looking for that first strike, especially these courts are really quick. If they were playing on a medium hard court or a slower hard court, I'd be inclined to bet back one ma, but
where has Wanman been his best in his career?
Altitude clay.
Hot altitude play, Cordoba, which is hot altitude play.
Hot yeah. Quick clay is the answer, I think.
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Made third round in Madrid, so yes, altitude clay.
This is altitude. I think the Clay, yeah, he's a better Clay player than anywhere else. So I think we all agree on that. But I don't think the court being quick necessarily hurts Wanman that much. Like Wanman's he's really athletic. He's a quick dude around the court. And he's got the forehand's a weapon. The backhand isn't, but the forehand's a weapon.
Yeah, but we also talk about how guys who prefer clay, their movement on the clay is so much better.
Well, that's why he's a better Clay player than a hard player. Also because he plays it year round. He doesn't leave South America pretty much.
Right, but that's why quick clay would be good because he's underpowered as well. So he has the benefit of getting that extra power, but he's better with the movement. Like if his movement is really poor, then the quickness of the court is going to negatively impact him more because he's not as good at moving to the ball. Plus, he's playing Sonigo, who's a very attack-minded player. So personally, I mean my bets for the two for I'm on the Sonigo 2-1 at plus 285. And Sonigo, according to Piranha, he has an 83% chance of serving first in the first set. So I took Sonigo minus 2.5 in the first set at
That's
plus
a good bet.
155. I think I got.
That's a good use of data. Are we moving on to that? To
Yeah, we can do. Let's do some Chengdu
Yeah.
first round matches. So yeah, so I guess I mean we can start with the Sonigo Cerundolo match since we're talking about that. So yeah, those are my two plays. I think I got a better line on the set one.
Yeah, so I'm on the other end of this, Manny. So this is going to be popcorn. I'm on Wanman at plus 160. Um, yeah, the keys, and this is probably one of my favorite plays of the day. I think I got a 165 on Bet Online, but yeah, I think Juan Mon at altitude I really like. Really like how he was firing that forehand. I don't believe in Sonego in 250s. I think he's probably like he seems like his better performance have come in slams. Um, Juan Mon's been in, I think the heat helps Juan Mon. Like I don't know how hot it is today, but I think it's still supposed to be pretty hot. It's at least humid. And Juan Mon's, I think, Juan Mon is certainly a fit player. So that's not
But
an issue.
Fitness doesn't impact Sonigo either. I don't think fitness is an
Yeah,
edge.
I think you're right about that. Yeah, it's probably not a huge edge either way. Um, but yeah, I look, I'm not saying that Juan Mon should be favored or anything, but I do like Juan Mon at a north of 40, at a price above plus 150. Smooth, you're on Juan Mon too. What's your I think also, right?
Yeah, that I had a lean, and then you talked when you mentioned his forehand. I don't need much to convince me to take a private bet. So when you mentioned his forehand singing, I was convinced. I really like Juanma in this spot. I think I capped it exactly the same as you. Anything above plus 150 struck me as value. Um, I think Sonego is definitely the more talented player, definitely the more decorated player, definitely has the best weapons on the court, but the last time he played a professional tennis match was against Tristan Schoolkate at the US Open, and he lost. Juanma has been in Asia grinding out, like he's in match form right now. And he's not just in match form, he's in great match form. Winning that challenger title. He's now played 2 matches at altitude, and I'm sure you guys know, like getting to altitude and acclimating is more than just like breathing and stuff, but it's also like how the ball sails is a little bit different. So
It's
I think
also
Juanma, go ahead.
it's also like Juan Mon has been, and it goes back to the physical thing. Like Juan Mon is very acclimated to altitude in general in his career. Like he's like I don't like I don't know if Sonego is as like just from like a playing sports at altitudes. I think you brought it up, Smooth. Like just like lungs and whatnot, right? Like I don't know if he's as used to that part of the altitude either as Juan Mon is. So I think there's that plus the and you're absolutely right with the ball flying. Yeah, I think that's another thing. And then you can keep going. Then I got one more point on Juan Mon after that.
Yeah, yeah, no, exactly. Like, that's such a good observation into on the altitude part. But it's Juanma has well, it's possible Sonego shows up, starts hitting first serves, and they all land, and then hits Juanma off the court. That is totally within the realm of possibility. But I think it's more likely he struggles to acclimate in the first set, and I think it's likely that Juanma pushes this out. And I think that if Sonego's forced to play with more margin, then this becomes a very pro Juanma match. So if Sonego has to settle into rallies before finding his strike, Juanma I think starts dictating. I think he's live at plus 150
Well,
or better.
I'm not totally off Wanma here. I like the Sonigo 2-1 just because of how erratic Sonigo is. Like I think there is going to be a part of this match where Wanma does make progression just because of his consistency and like Sonigo is going to find that patch of errors, right? I just think that the surface advantage combined with the talent gap here is just too big for Sonigo. Um,
I
so
Sorry, go ahead, man.
yeah, I don't know. I also like that with Sonigo matches just because of how erratic he is. I want to take big plus money. I don't really want to lay the 3 and only get minus 120. So that's why I've kind of opted for that minus 2.5 in the first set at plus 170 I got. Or I think 170, and then I got the 2-1 at plus 285. So I'm taking kind of these erratic prices because of Sonigo's erraticness.
I love the 2-1 bet because I think the script here for Sonego is for one reason or another, whether he's struggling to acclimate or because he hits an error patch.
Mhm.
Like I think that's a spot on read. So if I had to play Sonego, I hadn't thought of it before, but that's probably how I'd look to do it.
Okay. Cool. I think it's fascinating. So you're just on this one money line, Brad?
Yeah, but I like that 2-1 Sonigo play. But then again, I don't do I? I mean, like, is it really like is it really 60-40 Sonigo if it gets to a third set? Like I think the line's implying something close to that. Like, I'm
Mhm.
not convinced. So I think I'll probably just play the Wanman money line.
All right, I guess we have to
Or maybe
talk.
like the Wanman 2-1.
Yeah, you get like plus what 420 on that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, we got to talk about Tara Daniel and Coleman Wong. So smooth. What's your line? I'm on Taro money line plus 180 here.
I'm right there with you, brother. At plus one, I'm at plus 181 on bet 105. But
Okay.
I love this spot for the same reason I love Juanma. Kind of much more reserved. Has been here playing, looks to be playing well. Um, I don't know, man. Backing Taro Daniel is ugly always. He's 2-8 at tour level this year. He's the last time he won tour level matches though was here at the Asia Swing. The last time he beat anyone of any note was Lorenzo Sonego here in Chengdu in the first round. Um, I Coleman, I just think there's a big advantage to players who have been here and are playing and are in match form. And Coleman Wong, what he played, he just played a Davis Cup tie, right? Do you know
Hmm.
where that was? Was that in Hong Kong?
I think it was.
Okay, well then
I believe it
never
was
mind.
as well. Yeah.
Not as big as a factor in terms of travel, but still moving to a different court, moving to a different altitude. Daniels won. He qualified. Um, he beat some non Billy Harris and Jimmy Duckworth are not nobody. Those are not great wins, but they're not, you know.
For where Taro Daniel was, those are great wins.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I think it's just too long. And there's a chance that this looks terrible, and I'm a sad panda in the morning. But right now, I'm feeling very good about plus 180.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just a pure overreaction to what we saw at the U.S. Open. Like, I think if the U.S. Open never happened and he didn't get to the third round and push Rublev to 5 sets, this is probably pretty close to maybe not pick, but like probably Wong minus 140, minus 150, right? So
Love that.
I think it's a 70 cent correction in Wong's favor just because of one good event, and I just think that that's an overcorrection. Like was not that good prior to that event, prior to the U.S. Open. Um, I guess he did qualify in Cincinnati and then lost to Humbert. Beat Pericard, but like, Pericard had a really bad match and he didn't even serve that well. I think that match that Pericard, he served 52% first serves in that match. So like that's not that impressive of a win to me. Lost to Barrios Vera in Toronto. So lost to Bagnes and Stad, where there's altitude as well. Um,
Well, I don't know that I would think of Coleman Wong as a clay guy.
okay, fair, but I'm weighing the altitude there. Um, but yeah, I'm looking at his results. Like besides the U.S. Open run and like a decent Cincinnati run, there's nothing there, and it's just like okay, yeah, Tara Daniel has been awful too, but like, where do you think this line is if the U.S. Open didn't happen? Like I think it's minus 150 plus 130 in that.
If we include Daniel's qualifying run or not including Daniel's qualifying run.
I mean that's hard to
That's
say.
an unfortunately a huge question and
I
fundamental
mean,
to
that's
my
the thing,
capital
right?
return.
Like, so all the like if you want to say it's an overreaction to Coleman Wong, maybe, but then if you're not if you're taking Taro Daniel's full year performance, I'm not sure it changes much.
Don't look at his full year performance. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's I don't have any other words for it than
Yeah, I'm
that.
gonna
But
give my take because actually it's really funny. I actually agree with both of you guys that I think theoretically this is too long. But I have, in terms of if you're power rating these two guys, And Smooth, I completely agree with you on the altitude point. So that's a great call out. So the one thing that keeps me off of this, I'm a pass here, and the one reason why is I was fascinated by watching Coleman Wong during these, and Manny, you and I talked about it a little bit. Manny actually hung out together for like all of Labor Day weekend. So, um,
Love it.
but uh, but I was fascinated by how good Coleman Wong is tactically. And
Interesting.
I think like Taro Daniel's not going to overpower anyone. And so I think Wong's intelligence gives him a boost here. And I think that offsets a lot of the other things that make us think this is too long. So I actually think I think the market kind of like probably backed into the right thing, but I think it's because of that and not like I agree with you if you're just power rating these guys. I don't think in this spot Wong is like 3 games better than Taro Daniel. Like if you're rating like what their expected performance is, but I do think Wong has a matchup advantage here because of the tactical advantage.
But how much were those tactics like the good tactics due to him just playing really well and Rublev giving him the stuff that he wanted to and
Well,
not
it's not just Rublev, right? I thought the same thing was true against Walton. Admittedly, those are the only two full matches that I watched, but yeah, I mean, I thought I think yeah, and I think actually a couple other times I've seen him like I think he's pretty good tactical, pretty smart player.
Yeah. Well, all I can say is I'm ready for pain. I'm sure you are too, Smooth.
Definitely ready for
I
pain.
mean, I've lost like every bet now for 2 weeks, so you guys are
Can't
probably
get
in good
much
shape.
worse
It's
than
probably
that.
gonna be
I,
Taro
I've
like
I've I've made a lot of money fading Taro Daniel, just generally. So it's okay if I give some back, but I'm not that familiar with Coleman Wong's game. I've seen him play a couple times. His tactical, I haven't looked at it too carefully, so I'll definitely have to rewatch this one, given Brad's note, because that sounds interesting.
All right, one more match in Chengdu. I think we have to talk about Atman against Prismic. To me, it's extremely fascinating. Um, I think the line is pretty correct. I don't really want to pick a side here. The line I'm looking at is the set one over, the over 10 and a half at 2-1. That's the play I'm targeting here. I think that should be more in the plus 175, plus 180 range. I think the altitude is going to really help Atman serve and generate some easy holds. And I think Atman is not the best returner, and Prismic is probably, the more athletic player here. So I think he's going to be able to generate some holds. Also, these guys are, we say it all the time. They're allowed to break back as well. Atman can throw in a bad game, and Prismic can get back in the set. So I think 2-1 is a bit long there. That's where my eyes kind of gravitated towards. I kind of like the over 2.5 sets too here. I think this is going to kind of be a seesaw match, but it's only plus 120. I usually like plus 130 or better on those lines. So, what are your thoughts here?
you want to go smooth? I have
Yeah.
thoughts here, but
Yeah, I have a few thoughts. This one is a tough stay away from me. Theoretically, matchup wise, I think Prismich is a very, very bad matchup for Terrence Outman, who he's extremely creative, tactically diverse, extremely athletic, gets everything back. On the other hand, Dino Prismic just played at the Davis Cup, and I don't think that that was in Hong Kong. And you guys are gonna. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but the acclimation thing I think is a big edge for me early in this tournament,
it was
or a
in
big edge that
Croatia.
I'm.
Just to tell the viewers in case people don't know, it was in Croatia on clay. It
Sea
was somewhere
level,
in Eastern Croatia. I can't remember the city name. It was on clay, and I think indoor clay.
indoor sea
I
level
should
play.
I should have known that because Chilich was also there, at the same place. Um, oh my gosh, sorry, I don't know where that's coming from. I'm sorry for the audio, but yeah, it's a stay away. I think I would lean Atman ML if I had to. At plus money, I know it's gonna run way down now. It seems to me about right at this point, but sea level going from clay in Croatia to altitude hard courts in China is not to be taken lightly. That is a serious trek, and
Good point.
it is a totally different play style. And I think it is a big ask of the young Croat.
And I don't think people realize, like I was, and I don't know, I doubt like a lot of these guys have like special flights. I was looking, like I went online just to see what like the travel time was, and like first of all, I don't think it's that easy to get to these. Like some of these guys might have had like 24-hour travel times, including layovers and things. Like it's to your point, Smooth. It is like for these guys coming from Davis Cup in Europe, it's no joke. Like it is a long trek. You're talking about like a 6 or 7 time zone swing also, which for some
Mhm.
people can be a major issue with jet lag.
Yeah.
Probably more guys going east than going west, so probably a little easier, but still, I mean, 6 to 7 hours of jet lag is not that easy to take care of in just 3 to 4 days. Um, yeah, I think that's a very real point. I just wanted to call that out.
You have a bet here, Brad?
Yeah, I'm on Ottman money line. I the one thing that the first set over scares me because like Ottman's just a pretty volatile player, and then on top of that, he had that foot injury at Cincinnati, so you have to ask yourself if he's fully recovered. But I think that's baked in, man. Like if you're just power rating these guys on hard courts, Ottman's ahead of Prismic, I think. Now, I agree with you, Smooth. It's a bad matchup, but you offset that with the Davis Cup and the fact that Ottman's been off since Cincy. But then you've got the injury baked in. I got a plus 120. I think this 110 is probably the borderline of where you're probably out of value at that point. I know it opened a lot wider, so I'm disappointed
Yeah,
that I didn't get better.
I think Prismic overall is overrated. I think he's getting way too much respect from the books, to be honest.
Well, from the betting market, but yeah.
Yeah, in general, I tend to Prismic has really struggled versus the top 100. He beats up on guys that he should. It's just this is so fascinating to me because I don't really know where Atman lies. Like obviously he has the talent to be a top 30 player as we saw in Cincinnati. But is that a flash in the pan or is that sustainable? And like I just don't know. So this I don't really want to bet a side here.
Well, I think the question, right, with Ottman is like, what do you mean by sustainable? Because we've seen him. It's not a complete flash because like we've seen him flash many times, right? We just talked about him beating Musetti on clay in Rome, right, for a set, and then Musetti retired. But like, I don't, I like he took the first set off of Medvedev back when Medvedev was playing a lot better at the Australian Open one year. Like, so we've seen Ottman flash before. So it's not. I don't think it's like a singular flash, but they like Manny, you do bring up a good point. Like, like, is he
Yeah,
actually improved? And
right,
now
but
like
we
he's
also
going to be
saw
more.
him lay a complete egg at Roland Garros against Richard Gasquet, right? Like we saw
Oh
that,
no, he ran out of gas, right? Which I was going to mention that too. Like, gas tank is also a problem for both these guys, I think,
and it's pretty hot in Chengdu too. So
and humans. I think that's a problem for both. I don't know if that's a huge edge for either.
yeah, it's fascinating. It's a really fascinating matchup.
But yeah, I would want plus money on Ottman, but I did take Ottman.
What price did you get?
120.
120.
110 is probably my minimum buy point.
Okay. All right, let's move on to Hangzhou.
Manny, there's a couple of things I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
Guys, just get your thoughts on Chengdu
Yep.
real quick. If you can pull back up the lines.
Oh, for Chengdu.
Um, yeah, Chengdu, yeah. Sebi Baez. I found a line on Baez Bash. Sebi Baez has been terrible. But I do, man, I have over 2.5 sets in Baez Bash at plus 151. Baez does compete. I like Bash is definitely capable of bashing balls out. Bash has not been nearly as good in the past 2 to 3 months. I think he's like 6-4 against like truly challenger level competition. When I say truly challenger, I'm talking about like, guys who are well outside the top 100, which is probably where Baez is on a quick hard court at this point. I kind of like that matchup for Baez. So I don't know that I like necessarily Baez money line, but I do have 3 sets there. I want to get your thoughts on that match. And
Mhm.
then the other match I want to get you guys' thoughts on that I think is a fascinating one here is Tabilo Thompson.
Yeah, that would be where I would have my play from Chengdu for the that would be my favorite play from Chengdu. I
Is
think
that your ace the odds pick for tonight?
that would be my ace the odds pick for Chengdu.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if I want that or two from Hangzhou, but I think I want this from here. We talked about it a little bit already, but Tabulo has been in China for a minute, is playing good tennis right now. Made it to the final of the Challenger before losing to Quan Ma, but fought a hard fought match today against Lloyd Harris to get and got over the line. Blue match points in set two, which was dope. Um, but Jordan Thompson, man, he was just playing Davis Cup in Australia. I think that's a 12-hour flight from Sydney to Chengdu. Another acclimation concern. I think that's uh, yeah. I'm on Tabulo at -110. I think it's playable up to -125.
Two more comments here on that. Also thought he looked I thought Thompson looked just I mentioned it before. I thought Thompson I was not impressed with Thompson at the Davis Cup. I thought he looked like he just didn't look explosive. Which is like he Thompson doesn't need to hit the ball hard, but he needs to be explosive enough to really like get spin on the ball and like when he's slicing the back, he really needs to really get like the proper slice on it. He looked like just really like not necessarily not fast, but not quick. The and not explosive against Bergs, and Bergs was able to get him on the back foot a lot, and that's where he got into trouble. Where and you know when Thompson got on the front foot, he was actually okay. It was more like he just in rallies he kept getting kind of like just like not explosive enough. It was almost like there were times he almost like had to get out of the way of the ball, like really like not good. And then the other thing I was looking at is this over is really low for a coin flip altitude match. This is a low total 22, and I know 22 and a half
I'm
is
on
the neutral.
Brad, that's what I'm on. I'm on the over 22. I don't really want to back a side here. As you mentioned, I'm not a fan of Thompson's lack of form and the travel spot, and I'm also concerned about Tabilo's fatigue after three tiebreaks versus Harris. I think that's a pretty quick turnaround in hot weather.
Because
But
the problem is also if I you go ahead, man, and I have one more
but
point.
I think as you said, I think the altitude. I think both of these guys are going to hold pretty easily. I think we can get some longer sets here. Um, so yeah, I agree with you. I think that's a low total. Like I was surprised that wasn't at 23 or 23 and a half. So I
Like
didn't.
I was thinking this should be flipped around. I was thinking this should be 23 and a half. I mean, if you're gonna put it at a flip, I think the neutral then becomes more like 23 as opposed to the standard 22 and a half, which this
But in
match is
these
basically a
conditions,
flip.
in these conditions, it should be 23 and a half at flip, right?
That's what I would think. Yeah, I mean,
At
but
GBM,
what?
is that GBM the over 22?
No, I mean, I this is like because the other then the last thing I was gonna say is I also hate this matchup for Tabilo if Thompson is like fully playing at his normal self. Because like Tabilo is just such a blaster who doesn't really have anything else going on
Mm.
that like if Thompson is his normal self, then Thompson can uh then Thompson can um move him around the court and Thompson can get balls back and Tabilo is also terrible at the net. He's almost as bad as Rublev. So like that would be my concern here for backing the Tabilo side. But I also have no faith that Jordan Thompson, between the injury, Davis Cup, poor form, acclimation, there's a lot not to like about Jordan Thompson here, which also makes it really hard to back the over. Even though I think the over is low, it's hard to back the over when I just like when I have reasons to hate on both guys. I'm probably a reluctant pass here, but I think it's a fascinating match to discuss, which is why I wanted to call it out.
All right. All right. Yeah. Other
But I
plays.
hear you, man. I think that over makes sense.
Mhm. I'm also on Misalik Pericard under 23 and a half. Like it's funny, I thought that was a game too high. Um I Pericard has actually surprisingly played some lopsided sets recently. I don't know if it's because his serving has gone down a little bit, but I also feel like if he's not having a service guy, he's very breakable. because his baseline game is so bad. So I think it's being like his serve botting tendencies. Yes, he's a serve bot, but I also think if he's not serving up to par, he's very breakable. And I think Misalik is live, but I'd rather play the under 23 there. I think it's a little high. Um, not my highest confidence play, but I'm on that. I like your bash bias over 2.5 sets, Brad. I think it's a good look. I don't know. I think these are really, really, really bad courts for Baez. I don't really want to lay games with Bash. That being said, just because of how erratic he is, but I also don't really want to back Baez either on these courts. Hard courts, which we talked about, he struggles moving on, and then it's really quick. Plus, Bash is an attacking minded guy, so like, I, if I had it gone to head, I'd probably rather play the under there, the under 22.
Yeah, I mean, you're just hoping that Bash just smashes the ball out for no reason for a set and gives away a set for I mean, but we've seen him do it. Like it's not like it's an unreasonable thing. Um, but yeah, it's like I said, I wouldn't want it. Like I just think that should be more at the standard. Like I'm surprised it's a plus 150 for 3 sets.
A bit high, I
I
agree.
feel like the neutral there is more like the plus 135, plus 140 range. So that's kind of why I like it. I feel like it feels like it should be more around the neutral. The
Makes sense.
22, I think that makes sense, that total for that match. Like it should be low because
I
like
agree.
Baez doesn't have a great serves and Bash plays a ton of like 6-0, 6-1 sets. So is he used to just because he's so erratic.
Any other place for the slate in Chengdu, Smooth? Oh, did we lose him? You still there, Smooth? Oh,
The internet connection for Smooth is a bit rough right now.
yeah. All right, let's we could do some Hangzhou. We got some Rublev on the in the first quarter. We got Kova and Royer, Zeppieri and Sun, and Lerner Tien will play. Yeah, the winner of Zeppieri and Sun. So we probably don't get quarter prices, right? Because they didn't they start?
No, they start in 30 minutes.
Can you guys
20
hear me?
minutes.
Yeah,
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, sorry. I stepped away for a second, and then I came back, and it wasn't. Never mind. My bad. I'm back.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Any other place in Chengdu?
No,
Um,
I'm good. I'm good in Chengdu. I'm ready to move on to
okay.
Hangzhou. I
So
feel
your
like we
only
got.
play in Chengdu was the Daniel money line. Um, and the what was it?
Oh, my plays in Chengdu for SMS are. Let me check. I'm
Did
on the Shang and Nakashima over 22 and a half as well. I just think
okay.
that we
Yeah,
talked
that's
about it a little
tomorrow.
bit. That's tomorrow. Yeah. Okay,
Mhm.
we roll. I'm good.
Okay. And then you were on the Daniel money line, right? The
I'm
Taro
on yep, and the Tabula money line.
money line. Okay.
Oh, I also have just to close it out. I have Shevchenko money line also at plus 165. That's just a matter of hating on Monfils' form.
No play on that match. I don't want to get near that.
I
Jeez.
like that, Brad. Braver than I am, but I like what you're thinking.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot behind it, you know. But I don't know that you need a whole lot with how poor Monfils has been. And also, Monfils made a comment in Toronto, like this is something around the lines of like this is going to be my last time here. So I think he knows the end is like if he knows the end is near, that's probably a bad sign in like a kind of a random Asian 250 that I don't know that like. But then again, if he's here, he's probably motivated. But I don't know.
There's no crowd though. There's like zero crowd.
There's zero crowd. There's zero crowd.
All right, so quick draw. Rublev against Kova against or Royer, Zeppieri and Sun, and then the winner of that will play Lerner. Do you see quarter prices? I didn't.
I do not on Bovada.
Maybe they took them down.
Is the outright still up, or
No.
are all the features down?
Yeah, unfortunately. All right.
Oh, wait for a half. Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah. We're recording a little too
I mean,
late.
we can still talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, Tien has played Rublev a ton of times recently, right? Didn't they play in Washington and then they played in Cincy as well?
I believe so. Yeah.
I think that's right.
Pretty quick, pretty close matches too. So
Yeah. I still, Rublev should still win this quarter. He's miles above all these guys, including Lerner. Like this is a pretty boring quarter, honestly. It's pretty weak other than Rublev.
we got Mute. We'll play the winner of Kazo and Arnaldi, which I think is a fascinating match. I already posted on Ace the Odds. That's my play for the day. And then Jumer and Echeverry. I also think that's a very fascinating first round match. And that winner will play Rinky or Camila Ugo Carbai. I think this is a pretty fascinating quarter, to be honest.
This is a very 250 quarter.
It is.
Um, I I I kind of like Arnaldi coming out of here, to tell you the truth. I don't feel great about it. Um,
I'm on Kazo tonight.
you're on Caso tonight. Oh boy. Okay. Well, my apologies.
Oh, good.
I'm on Caso then. I changed my mind. No,
No, no, no, it's fine.
this
You
is just a
probably
hard. It's just a hard quarter. It's Rinky is looks to be match fit and in match form. I'm not sure that matters. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I like Jumer as a dog over combo against Etch. Um, I'm really low on Etch to be honest, and I think these quick courts I think are really bad for him. Like Etch needs time.
Yeah.
Um, and I think Jumer is more equipped to playing on quicker courts just because his swing path is a little bit quicker, and like I think he likes pace more than Etch does. Like I think he could use Etch's pace and like redirect balls and like make it tough for Etch to react. So plus one, I think I got plus 185 on Jumer, and I like the over 2.5 sets. I think Etch is so one dimensional that it's just hard for him to win matches with margin unless the opponent is playing poorly. I know he won beat De Jong in straight sets in Davis Cup, but like I think that's few and far between. Like I don't think and plus I view Jumer slightly higher than De Jong as well. And in that match you got De Jong as a minus 130 favorite, which was surprising to me, honestly. So considering you got Jumer at plus 180 and De Jong at minus 130 against Etch in maybe not similar conditions, but actually I think the conditions in Davis Cup were more favorable to Etch than they are here.
Except he was on the road, right? Like that means, especially. I think Davis Cup is one exception where that home matters probably quite a bit.
Yeah, but he was on the road. They were playing in Netherlands.
X was on the road, right? Yeah,
So you combine the travel spot as well. Was Jumer playing Davis Cup as well?
I think so. I think he played for Bahrain.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Rinky and Ugo Carbai is a complete stay away for me. I have no take there. But I don't know. And also Mute has that travel spot, right? With and he's coming from that, sea level clay in Croatia. And he played quite a bit of tennis. I think he had a 3 hour match against Prismic and a 2.5 hour match against Chilich. So that's a pretty quick turnaround for him. So I don't know. Fascinating quarter to me. But
Yeah, I'm actually on Mute to win this event. I actually think this is I tend to like Mute against these more like power guys who aren't the smartest players. And if I were to characterize the player types, those Kazone, Arnoldi, and Etch are the three best guys in this quarter besides Mute. And those are all like power types who aren't the smartest players. Where I think Mute's
Hmm.
kind of dinky game could get him pretty far. Um,
What price did you get on that?
14-1. I just think like this top, like we'll get to the bottom half, but this top half is really weak. Like outside of Rublev, this top, like if you're gonna pick somebody to win this event, I think you want somebody up in this top half.
Well, I actually think Mute matches up really well against Rublev.
I think so too.
I do too. That's a good bet, Brad. And that's a great top half of the draw read too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just worried about the travel spot and the difference in conditions and like, Smooth brought it up so many times with
Yeah,
the
I
acclimate.
mean, like I said, I'm less worried about it when it comes to outrights because like you really only have to duck it for one round, and then they should like by the second round, 6 days. It's also so two things. A, he gets a bye, and he did not. No, he did play Davis Cup, but he does get a bye, so he's not playing until possibly Saturday. Or Friday, Saturday. Like so that helps him. And then the second thing is um we're talking about an outright, right? Like I'm really only worried about it for one round. If I'm worried about it at all, the whole travel acclimation thing.
I
And
I
then after
pref
that, he should be good.
I'd also prefer the conditions to be slightly slower because he has no serve.
Yeah,
I
true.
get it, like from a rally perspective, he should beat all these guys just because he's smarter than all of them put together.
But he won Santiago last year, didn't he? Again, altitude play, but he's been okay at altitude.
No, this is no, it's Hangzhou.
Oh, it's Hangzhou. There's no altitude. You're right. Yeah. Yeah.
Still
Shit.
He's
quick
playing
though.
quick.
Yeah.
So,
Quick, no altitude. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. The conditions aren't ideal for Mute, but it's still. I still that aside, I love the matchups too much.
all right.
And I
Okay.
love. I don't want. I'd rather play the top half. We'll go to the bottom half. This is
That
a
bottom half here.
stacked bottom
So
half.
Berrettini against a return of Matteo Berrettini will play Dalibor Sversino, lucky loser. Yu Bu will play Zhizhen, the return of Zhizhen Zhang. Alex
Oh.
Bukic will play David Goffin, and you got Bublik here. Um, I mean, we'll go over the bets, but I'm on Spursina in some capacity here. My bet is might surprise you. I'm on the -2.5 in set one at like plus. I think it was like 380 or something crazy. So Spursina, he's played a lot of lopsided sets recently, and it would make sense because he's underpowered, but he's very consistent. And I think he can catch Berrettini off guard coming back from injury. Um, so at the US Open, Sversino won the first set against Marita Aguilar and then lost the match. He won the first set 6-1. Um, beat Buse 6-1, 6-1 in Cancun. He had a 6-2 set against De Jong. Beat Watanuki, who has a similar game to Berrettini, 2 in love. Um, So I don't know. I just think that this is or he beat Alex Blocks 4-2. So if he can capitalize on a power player missing and like not having his timing, I think he can win a lopsided set. So I wanted to take big plus money there. Um,
Oh man.
and shorten the
That's
finish line.
yeah.
The
I
problem is, right,
I
is well, go ahead, Smooth.
no, you go ahead, Brad. You go ahead.
I guess a couple of things. I would not be as high on Sversini here. Like Berrettini, we've seen Berrettini do this thing where he takes off for a while, comes back and plays really well. He's priced like the third or fourth favorite. I think he's priced really high here. So I that's why I didn't take him. But I don't think like a Berrettini on a fast court. I think he's a threat here to actually like really do something. Um and yeah, I mean again, like just Berrettini, like this is I don't know. I think this is a pretty good spot for Berrettini.
I can't. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't I
that's
don't necessarily want to take Spursina to win the match. I just think he might come out slow and he might come out missing. And
I
just
just don't think. I mean, what is just to win the first sets for Cena? Why do you need to lay the 2.5?
2-1. But I got what did I do? Let me just double check. I think I laid the 2.5 and got plus 380 or 400.
I think if Cervicina takes a set off Berrettini, it's almost certainly because Berrettini is super rusty and missing. If Berrettini shows up in any semblance of form, this is super ugly, I think. Um, I don't. Cervicina is a very solid defensive player, but man, does he struggle to hold serve. Um,
Yeah, but
and that's
Berrettini
not
struggles
something.
to break.
Struggling to break Cervicina is different than struggling to break who Berrettini is facing on the historically on the day to day.
Fair,
And
fair.
Cervicina still has to break Berrettini on a quick hard court, which isn't ideal. But I don't know. I love Berrettini. I'm very high on Berrettini, just generally. So I'm just
Yeah, I
ignore me.
love
I'm
him
biased.
too. Yeah, I laid the 1.5 in set one at plus 280 instead of plus 200.
Love it.
So I'm
That's
also
the
on
look.
Zhang to win the event at 150 to 1. I thought that like he has a better chance of winning the event than a lot of guys that were priced ahead of him. Like of Rinky Hijikata, I think was priced over him. Ugo Caraballi was placed over him. Demir Jumer was placed over him. Um, I think Kovacevic even was. Like, I could make a solid argument that even though he hasn't played, like he has a higher upside. Plus, he's playing at home. He should be acclimated with these conditions. Um, and like Zhizhen Zhang, like we've talked about him as being a top 50 guy once upon a time. So if he can find anything, any semblance of that form, he'd probably be more like in the 30 to 1 range rather than the 150 to 1 range. So it's a quarter of a unit play. It's not like I'm super excited about it, but it was worth a stab. I'll put it that way. Any thoughts on that?
I love the idea of the bet. It's just a brutal draw, man. He's got to beat Barrett. Like this bottom half is brutal, so he's probably going to have to beat Boo, who also did really well in this swing. I think at least last year, if not the
Yeah,
last two
he did.
years.
Yep. Yeah, he might be a good guy to back.
So he's got it. So he's got to beat Boo. Then he's got to beat Berrettini. Then he's probably got to beat Bublik, although Bublik did retire in Davis Cup with an injury, so we'll see. Um, and then he's got to beat who's the second seed here? The second seed here is tough too in the bottom half.
Medvedev.
I mean, that's I think that's I don't love that matchup for Zhang. I get it. We're all really low on Medvedev right now, um, but that quarter is brutal, man. Like specifically having, but I get it. I mean, I guess if Bublik is hurt and Berrettini's rusty, like I get it. It could be
It's
okay. It's
150 to
150
1.
to
I mean,
1.
yeah.
What?
It's 150 to 1. It's not like
I
it's
mean, yeah, there's got to be value. I take that back. That's got to be plus EV.
yeah.
Like he's got to like Zhang's got to be able to win this tournament 1% of the time, but he does have a brutal draw. Like if Bublik and Berrettini are healthy and good, that 151 is probably not really a great price.
Yep. Yeah. And Smooth, I think you're on GoFan tonight, right? Against Vukic. I saw it on your previous post.
I am on GoFan against Vukic, and the line has moved in my favor, but I'm
Nice.
not stoked about it with how quick Piranha and my eyes are reporting these courts to be. So we'll see. Gofan did beat Vukic in Miami, which is another quicker hard court. So I'm optimistic.
Okay.
The market seems to be agreeing with me.
I'm off that match,
Um,
but I wish you luck.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Vukic is just not a good tennis player on courts that are just all courts, but especially courts that aren't super fast. And I always look to fade him in these kind of spots.
Yeah, big backhand advantage for GoFan here. So
Yes.
Also, Vukic played Davis Cup. He actually
yeah, he
played
played the fifth rubber
he played
against
the fifth rubber, yeah. So and
yeah,
Goffin did not.
There we go.
yeah. All right, and then we got the fourth quarter here. Yibing Wu beat Manarino in another painful loss for both of us. Oh my God, that sucked. Adam Walton will play Sebi Korda. I saw you just placed the outright bet on Korda at 12-1. So I'm
I
curious
sure
your
did.
logic
I
there.
sure I sure did. And then they took the outrights off. But man, do I like Corda, even though this quarter is scary. I
I
think Corda
love Korda against Walton. I'm on the -2.5 at -120. I mean, that's one of my favorite plays of the day. I was debating between that and the Kazo as my first ace the odds bet. Um, but yeah, I mean, I do like him against Walton. I probably would back him against Yibing Wu. And then he's matched up well against Medvedev in the past. He
That's
really has.
exactly right.
So I think he beat him in Australia. It's just, I don't know. I
My thinking is if he can get out of the quarter, if he wins the quarter and get to the semis, I'm going to be really stoked at that plus 1200 number at that point because I'm pretty sure that means Korda's playing some good tennis and the market will have overreacted to him as it always does with Sebi Korda mid tournaments.
I'm really worried
Um,
about him playing a motivated Bublik though. I don't think he has any answer because his returning is pretty subpar.
if let's see how Bublik looks on quicker outdoor hard courts.
Okay.
I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm not totally sold. Nothing about his US Open run really like I was impressed, like it was an impressive run and like he beat a hampered obviously hampered Tommy Paul, but nothing really stood out as like he's still capable of being rushed. He's still like not the most adept mover back there. Um we'll see. We'll see. I'm not ready to declare Bublik as a top 10 player on hard courts just yet.
Okay. That's
Also,
fair.
again, I'll mention again, Bublik retired, and I don't know why, right? It's Bublik, so. But I think it's a bad sign, no matter what, that he retired against Kwon at Davis Cup.
Yeah,
Like,
his sun run might be over.
I mean, either he's hurt or he's not serious anymore, right? There's only two possible reasons he would retire, and especially like it was a second day. Where it's like I think the match rained out, and then he didn't come back and play the next day. So either he's hurt or he just didn't want to play anymore, and neither of those are a good sign.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, I wouldn't be backing Bublik like in any outright market. But the thing is, Bublik is tough to back in the first round, but if he gets through a couple rounds and builds that confidence, he could beat anyone. You know?
Literally anybody. Literally.
Yeah.
One of
He
very few
beat
players who
Sinner.
can
He
say that.
beat Sinner.
Yeah.
I mean that's all you. Like, I know it wasn't Halle on super fast grass, but he beat Yannick Sinner.
I know. I know. It's crazy. Yep. All right, so let's just quickly discuss these matches here. Yeah. So yeah, I'm on Cazo versus Arnaldi. I think that line should be flip-flopped, and I think Cazo should be like a -130 favorite. I think these courts are better for Cazo than they are on Arnaldi. I think he's a more aggressively minded player, and he's better at taking that first strike in rallies. I'm not. I don't like what Arnaldi has done this year. He's only won two matches in a row once this entire year, and that was in Madrid.
That's so
Uh,
bad.
yeah, he just has no consistency, and I think I don't know. I just on these conditions I weigh Cazo higher than I do Arnaldi. What are your thoughts?
I'm a pass here. I can go first. I'm a pass here. I think like uh I have a lot of I guess like first of all I think I would power rate Arnoldi probably slightly ahead of Kazo, so I think that's probably fine. Um Both these guys are kind of similar player types. We're like both really talented, both make a lot of dumb mistakes, both don't have the best tactics. I don't know, like I there's probably like Kazo has some more. Kazo's probably like he'd rather actually back earlier in tournament, maybe. So maybe there's an advantage there.
Yeah, I prefer
Uh,
backing Arnaldi. Well, he never gets later in tournaments, so I can't back him later in tournaments.
I so yeah, I don't but it's also like it's a pretty volatile match. It's two guys who haven't played since the US Open, right? So I overall am a pass. I don't really see a need to put down money here. I think something close to pick is probably correct.
Okay.
I hear you on Kazo. I do think the market is kind of overreacting to his form even at the clay double. I'm guessing. I'm
Yeah.
not sure where this is coming from. He's still 9-11 on hard this year with like some really like loss against Tirante in Cincinnati, loss against Brooksby also in Cincinnati. Um, I don't know. I'm looking at his hard court record from this year, and there's nothing that makes me think he's capable of beating a player of Arnaldi's caliber, which candidly isn't super high right now, but I know it's been higher than it is. And he looked okay against Cerundolo until he didn't. Like he looked really good, and then he didn't. So I think if he beats Cerundolo and goes to the next round, this is probably closer to -150, which is where my -150, which is where my gut had it initially. But I don't want to play it. There's too much variance here with both guys.
Smooth, I completely agree with you. Like I actually think that like if Arnoldi was in like any sort of form, like I think like if Arnoldi was in any sort of form, I'd want to back Arnoldi here. Like I kind of like it's a weird thing where like I think both these guys are probably overrated. So I think getting the market probably backed into like the right spot. Like I mean
Hmm.
Arnoldi's lost last three matches, lost to Bonsai. Not terrible, but not good, not great. Lost to VDZ in straight sets, lost to Cerundolo. So like terrible losses, no, but like those are also three very winnable matches that like you'd want to see him win, and he didn't win any of them. So that's kind of my view on Arnoldi in general. I think he's really I think it's been a bad year for Arnoldi. I think the last 6 months he's really taken a step back. Um, I mean he was a top 50 player. I mean his ranking shows it, right? He was actually ranked in the top 35 in February, and now he's out of the top 70.
I'd agree with you if they were playing on clay, but not on a quick hard court.
Arnaldi's not terrible on hard courts, is he?
I mean I think he's a little better on clay, but I think he's pretty close to an all quarter. I think yeah.
He made the semis in Del Rey this year.
Oh yeah. Okay. So maybe he did win more than two. Okay.
He was playing well back then though. Like it's
No, he
been
only won 2 matches to make the semis.
Oh, okay. All
Sorry,
yeah.
sorry, Brad. But
right.
he has some decent wins on hard courts. He's beat Rublev. He's beaten Wu. He's beaten Sonego.
Yeah, but that's the
He's
thing.
beat
He has a top end talent. Like he can beat mostly anyone. He beat Novak, right, in Madrid, but he can also lose to pretty much anyone too.
right. I'm just comparing like when I'm comparing their yeah. I hear you. Just losses to Tirante are hurt me inside when I look at Kazo's record on a hard court.
I mean, Kazo's floor is zero. That is the problem. I agree with you, Smooth. The floor on Kazo in individual matches is zero. Like he, yeah. I like,
I mean,
yeah,
both of these guys'
yeah. The
floors.
floor is zero. Like he can play some. He has the top end talent. I mean, but he can play some terrible matches. And yeah, yeah.
You guys are making me second guess this play of the day for me, but I guess I'll roll with it.
No, you should roll with it. You've thought about it harder than I have. I saw this and I was like, I'm not doing it, dude. I'm not doing this right now. I think there are really good arguments for Kazo. Like tactically, he can rush Arnaldi. He has the better serve. If he's on, he's very, very live. So I wish you the best of luck. I have
Thank you.
I,
We'll see. We'll see what happens. My other bet for Hangzhou is the Chilich dog over combo against Bassivaretti. Um,
oof, love it.
I think the 22.5 is a bit low. the only thing I'm a little bit worried about is the travel spot and the conditions acclimation, but I do think quick hard courts is more favorable for Chilich than it is for Basaveretti. And I think Chilich is a guy that can rush Nishesh. I mean, he won this event last year, so he does like these conditions. So I think he can get acclimated pretty quickly. I just think plus 160 is too long. I think that should be more in the plus, like, 125, 130 range. Um, and I do want to add the over just because I think Chilich will have that spell of errors where he does, I could see this easily going 3 sets. So, what are your thoughts on that match?
I can go first. I agree with you. I'm also on Chilich here. Also on Chilich here.
Mhm.
Um, the clay is alarming. The Croatia is alarming. Um, but I think this is a bad match for Nishesh, who can get kind of buoyed by bigger hitters. He's an underpowered player still. When he's not landing his first serve, his second serve is very, very attackable, and that is exactly the kind of tennis that Cilic likes to play. So if Cilic shows up with his first serve, he's way shorter than plus 160. I think, man, I love it. Plus 125 is right where I would have it.
Nice. Is it family play, Brad?
I think reluctantly so. Like
Oh,
Oof.
it's like and the reason I say reluctantly family play is that like yeah, like I just it scares me because I don't really understand why Nishesh would be a 2.5 game favorite outside of okay, he qualified and he's like he qualified and he's acclimated and he doesn't have Davis Cup travel. Like those are the only reasons. Like I mean, like why else would you even like as a tennis player is Nishesh on a quick hardcourt better than Cilic right now?
I would tend
Like
to
Cilic just
agree.
made the fourth round of Wimbledon 3 months ago. I know like the U.S. Open losing to Bublik was bad, but like and losing to Rinderknecht on clay 2-4 is not good.
Yeah, but
But like
Rinderknecht has
the
been
scary
really
part of
good.
it too is like what
Rinderknecht has been really good. He's consistently undervalued by the market.
2-4 on clay to Rinderknecht is not good on sea level clay. Like it's just like it's
That's
like
fine.
I mean it's not like Rinderknecht is a top 30 player. Like like it's especially on clay like that's just not a good result.
Okay, fair.
And so we've seen 3 matches from Chilich in the past 3 months and they're all bad. I mean losing by 9 games to Bublik is bad too. Losing 5-4 to Mute on clay maybe it's I guess if you're gonna say Childress is a bad clay pocket, it's okay, but like, but it feels crappy because like is like is that enough to make Chilich like to make Bassett already a 2.5 game favorite? Like Smooth and Manny, like why like if you're gonna make the case for Nishesh as a 2.5 game favorite, what would the case even be besides Davis Cup travel?
Exactly. Especially on a quick court. Like if it was Indian Wells, maybe, but not this court.
I mean,
I
Smooth,
mean,
what do you think about that? Like, what would be your argument for if you had to argue for Nishesh as a 2.5 game favorite? What would your argument be?
outside of the travel and surface and like surface change, like going from clay to hard, that's a real thing. Um, he's been in Asia, and his only loss is to Tabula, who we all like and is in decent form. He's had decent success on medium fast courts like Auckland and I think he did okay at Brisbane. Um, and we don't totally know how fast these courts are. And their sea level conditions suggest they should be slower. And that is my best devil's advocate case for Nishesh. But I'm with you guys. I think I really I think it's just too long on Cilic given the matchup style. The points defending I think is big for Cilic here. Although I guess maybe not. He just made the quarters at Wimbledon. That'll hold him over. Um,
We might be influencing the market. He moved from plus 160 to plus
It's
155.
crazy. It's crazy that Chilich, that you have a Wimbledon quarterfinalist who's a plus 150 dog in a best of three match against a guy who's not even really a true tour level player. Like Nishesh is Nishesh is fun and we like him because he's American, but he still is a fringe tour level player.
Still a 20-year-old. I mean, he's 20 and like playing his first real tour level season. I think like it's a big ask to play a grand. Chilich, it's late, I think, but Chilich, I'm pretty sure he has a Grand Slam. Like
He
big
does.
ask.
He does. I mean,
Yeah, U.S. Open.
I could argue that he's a top, what, 20, 25 player of all time.
I mean, Chilich has how many finals? Three finals?
Yeah.
He's a good player. Like there's a lot of
I mean, he's
experience
in
and a
the
lot
Del
of talent.
Potro tier of player, great players of all time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in that tier. So, um, all right. So before we call it for the night, Smooth, what's your AC odds play for the day?
Ace out play of the day. I'm gonna go with Tabulo ML.
Okay.
I think that is a good spot. I snagged it at minus 110. I think it's playable up to minus 125. I'm feeling even more emboldened after Brad telling me that JT didn't look so hot at the Davis Cup. The scoreboard kind of reflected it. But good to know that the eye test matches, and I need to probably watch some of those matches now.
Sounds good. And Brad, what about you?
I'm really pissed because it would have been the Sonigo. It would have been Cerundolo against Juanman, who's one of my favorite guys in general against Sonigo. But I that's not allowed now because we unfortunately potted,
Yeah,
so I
he
didn't get a chance to
started.
post it.
Cerundolo has two break points. He just broke, actually.
Yeah, I mean I'm not. I guess so. That's not allowed. It might have to be the Chilich given that, but I got to look at some of these other. I actually haven't even gotten through all the Hangzhou matches yet. I still have 4 or 5 matches to go through. So yeah, I that's kind of my yeah. Unfortunately, I'm pissed because I would have gotten it posted in time, but you guys made me pods. So
All right. Without further ado, any GBM plays, Brad?
um, not
Maybe
really. Not that I see. So I mean,
Chilich
Chilich
money
could be.
line?
Yeah, we can make Chilich GBM. Why not?
All right. Are you on Corda minus 2.5?
Probably not. But
Okay.
I don't hate the look. Like I would lean that way. But probably not.
Sabilo Thompson over? No, it's not GBM
No,
really.
no.
I don't think anything was GBM here. So, all right. Yeah, we
All
let's do.
right, he got some CLV on Ottman. Ottman all the way down to plus 105.
Yeah.
Very well done.
Let's do the Chilich money line as
All right.
GBM. All right. All right, this was a lot of fun as always. So excited to start this collaboration. I think it's going to be fantastic. We're going to get some really good engagement. So best of luck, everyone. We'll be chatting it up on X, and please feel free to engage on X. We always entertain it. So take
Punishment
care.
ideas.
All right,
Everyone.
have a good one.